warm welcome back to HCS EU Pro League 4 Finals. The crowd are in full effect here, enjoying the halo that we've had so far. It has been a fantastic Championship Sunday, and it's not over yet because we have at least 2 series to go. I say at least because maybe 3. Maybe I'm pushing my luck, but nevertheless, we definitely have another one coming your way right now in the lower bracket. Pulse versus Infused is up next. Our panel are back with us again once more, and Mark, welcome back.
Thank you, mate.
Nice to have you here. Lethal, the one and only Lethal.
Hello.
I'm saying that again because I think the original Lethal might be awake now. And
It is
therefore,
possible.
Yeah, he's the original Lethal.
Actually, if we
He is
go
the
by
original Lethal.
timeline, he is. Yeah.
He
to
played
be
Halo
fair-
1, did you know that?
Did he really?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah, surprising, isn't it?
Yeah.
But to be fair, the American's done a lot more accomplishments than I am, sadly. But yeah.
There's no need to put yourself down, mate.
No, I'm not putting myself.
How many
down,
Halo
mate.
1 events did he win?
Good,
I think you won what?
Calling you out. Calling you out,
How
Tony.
many events did you win? Like 40 plus?
About 30 plus.
Was it? Yeah.
About
Not as
that.
many as 40? You don't think?
Well, maybe. There's
History.
too many.
Add them
There's
all
too
up.
many. There's too
History.
many.
Yeah, add all those like £50 X League.
Oh my god. Yeah. That's. You know what? Probably is about 40 after all that.
Right, we're going to get into this lower bracket game in just a minute. I just want to quickly reflect back on the last game because Pulse have come through. We talked about momentum earlier, Harry.
Yep.
Mark, we've talked about it all weekend. How important is that down to the French squad?
Well, it's the Pulse magic, isn't it?
Yeah.
The problem is, like, is it going to continue? It very well could do. But it's like you said before, we saw the mistakes from Pulse, but it was the fact that due to Vibe's issues, they basically just couldn't capitalise any of the situations. Infused will just be on it. Like, I think Vibe last series was about as much use as a chocolate teapot.
That's fighting talk, isn't it?
It is.
Well, he has been
you
called
know.
brutal weekend. We've
true.
got a Savage
That
on the
is true.
stage for us
It's
right
true.
now, and we're going to head down there because Mr. Savage is in place with the 2 team captains. So let's hear from them first.
Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. Make some noise for Flux and SLG! All right. They love you. They love you. Coming to you first, Flux. You guys had a bit of a bad defeat earlier on today. How have you motivated the team and got them up for this next match?
I've just told them pretty much put it behind you guys. Like, we're better than this, you know, and we can come into this series with an easy 4-0.
How much is confident? How much of this is about getting that rematch as well in that final and showing them that you guys are the better team?
Oh, definitely. I don't think we played to our full potential the first time we matched up, so we really want to play them again and show them what we can actually do.
The tactics remain the same? Anything changed at all? Do you do the same thing you always do and just rock it as a team together?
Same thing we always do.
Same thing you always do. Thank you very much. And SLG, you guys just beat Vibe in the last round. How are you guys feeling? You feeling a lot more confident now? You feeling good ahead of this next match?
Yeah, we definitely are more confident than, you know, just after our match against Favi where we lost. So yeah, I hope we're gonna start up this game strong and hope for the best.
Now, obviously, the same for you guys. You lost earlier on today to Fab E. Is there an element of wanting that rematch to show them who's boss in the final?
Yeah, definitely. I'm happy to play them online finally. Yeah, I'm looking forward for this match already.
All right, with loads at stake here, boys. One more time, massive round of applause for Flux, SLG, and our 2 teams. Guys, go ahead, get into your positions. Good luck. Love it. As you can see, the audience are really looking forward to this one. Back to you guys up top there for a bit of a pre-match debrief. Over to you guys.
Yes, thank you very much. And we'll get into it with our 2 analysts right now. Back with Onset and with Lethal. It's a very interesting matchup, this one.
It is a very interesting matchup.
More so because of the way Pulse have come through, but also Infused now have to come back off a loss.
They do.
So it's a bit mentally challenging, perhaps.
But before we start, can we just, like, from the desk, just give a shout out to everyone in the crowd about how amazing they have been so far.
Absolutely.
So, like, guys down in the crowd, give yourself a round of applause. You have been incredible
Absolutely.
today. But yeah,
It does make a difference.
oh yeah, it's been incredible. So yeah, back to the series, back to the Halo. Sorry.
He's going to stop kissing your ass now, it's fine.
Yeah, if payment is accepted, PayPal, export, whatever. But yeah, basically go back to the series. This is going to be a totally different series for Pulse. I think Infused are a much more regimented team. They're a much more practiced team. They're a lot more experienced team, and they can all communicate it, which is always useful.
Yes.
As I think you alluded to earlier perfectly, that was the weakest vibe that Pulse probably could have played against. Again, not taking anything away from Pulse. You know, they did fantastically well. I'm just being realistic about the situation. Infused, different team. We saw them, you know, coming out hot earlier. We saw Kimbo, Batchford, everyone playing some insane Halo. So if Pulse beat Infused now, I think not only does it lay down a marker, Fabi are probably going to be looking and thinking, we're not going to have that easier game here.
Yeah, like the problem with Pulse is the fact that they did perfectly fine, like controlling the main areas of the map. That wasn't an issue. It's the fact that they need to stop hesitating. They need to go for these kills. They need to spawn trap him. Like Plaza was a great example. They had perfect full setup. They could have challenged him in yard, challenged him in loop, and then when the spawn split, they could have gone in hotel and blue, and they could have kept doing that even with overshield. But they just didn't do it. Same on Collie Flag. Collie Slayer, literally, it was just a matter of they were holding Snipe Tower. They should have had a 10, 20, 30 kill lead possibly, because 5 minutes for Snipe Tower control, it's absurd considering how open Vibe were. But again, they didn't. But now is the time to stop hesitating and crack
Mark
on.
made the similar points, actually. You were very frustrated with them at how passive they were in that last match. They've got to change some of that if they want to take on Infused head-to-head, haven't they?
Yeah, it's all about pressing home your advantages in game. As soon as you get an advantage in Halo, you need to take control of it, because there's going to be situations in the match where you're going to be at a disadvantage, and it's all about who can make the most of the situations in the game, whether it's a numbers advantage, if you have 1 dead, you have 2 dead, if it's an objective advantage, if you have better objective positioning, if it's strongholds game, flag game, power weapon control. It's all of these small advantages that add up to map wins, and I just need to see Pulse Gaming be a bit more aggressive, a bit more assertive on the map if they want to take down Infused, because Infused will not give them that opportunity.
Yeah, Harry, do you feel that there's something Pulse can take heart from? Is it their CTF? Is it their stronghold? Where do you think they're going to be stronger? Where would they look to get the edges on Infused?
I think it's going to have to be the stronghold game types, but it depends just on the best of the 7 as a whole, because I know there is some CTF game types they're quite good at, but you saw how Infused were playing on true CTF. It's absolutely immaculate. Their coordination was great, but you've got to remember, as with Pulse, they seem to be a little bit too separated sometimes. On Fathom CTF, some flag grabs were good, but even though they'd have like 2 top mid, the couple of people which would collapse too late because they've spawned too late, and basically, it's like I said, hesitation is key for them. They need to stop it.
Interesting as well is that Batchford has had such a great couple of series
Lamb
already.
Batchford, mate.
It's just been absolutely fantastic. How much are they going to rely on him to continue that kind of form?
I don't think it's just him, it's everyone in general. So you've got to remember, Kimbo is the 3rd best Slayer in this league, and one of the best KDAs as well. Came from Fabi. He still wants to win, even though he's going from loser bracket. It's not a continuation series, it's 2 best of 7s. So if he comes back, only 2 best of 7s, but it's against Fab as well. But at the moment, they need to think about Pulse. I reckon it's going to be a good game.
And on the other side, Mark, SLG, we mentioned him at the very start. Harry himself pointed him out. He's a key player for this side. Has to step up. Perhaps didn't really step up in the first series of the day. The second one, he's on fire at times. And even at the end of the interview, he's saying, "Well, I was playing well."
Yeah, I mean,
he's half joking, but he actually was playing well.
That's the confidence that he needs to breathe through his squad. I saw Cali making some good plays. I saw Punisher in that final game, the Coliseum Slayer, putting up those huge numbers. And Fragger's put in some good performances as well. It's maybe just a little bit of belief issue, isn't it? It's one of those, do we deserve to be here? You do deserve to be here. It's as simple as that. Now come out and show us that you deserve to be here.
You can kind of see as they're playing, they're kind of learning as they're going, because the first series obviously wasn't great because they're playing against Fabi, anyone can understand that.
Fabi.
But Fabi, yeah. Or Fab, either way. But yeah, anyways, it just, they're learning, they're baiting and switching a lot more. As each series is progressing, they're getting better and better and better.
There's a great line on Punisher's thing. There seems to be everywhere on the map like he has a twin. Now, I have to say,
yes,
that actually did seem like that in that last map where he was putting up those ridiculous
I actually thought they were twins. I looked and thought, are they brothers? I wasn't really too sure at first, but...
Okay, vetoes are on their way very shortly. Before we get to those, we do have a little bit more time to talk about these 2 teams in particular. Infused will have potentially not looked at Pulse thinking, nah, we'll probably end up playing Vibe in the lower bracket.
Yeah.
Do you think they're hurrying around downstairs before they started going, damn it guys, we're going to have to change some things up, or do you think they just stick to how they play?
I think what they might have assumed is the fact that if Fabi would have beat Pulse, they might have assumed that they would lose to Vibe and then match him in losers round 1. But obviously, as things have come, they're losing in losers finals instead. But it is very interesting how they probably thought to themselves, anyone would assume they were going to come 4th. But yeah, it's amazing to see this, this French magic kicking in. Depends if they can actually do it now to Infused.
It's interesting to note on that as well, how Flux was saying when they were going to play Fabi, they were looking at their map vetoes and they were taking it quite tactically and sort of thinking about what maps they were going to match up against. And as you say, it's a different, sort of what they might have thought was happening has changed now. So maybe they have been scrubbing around thinking, okay, we're playing Pulse now. What maps are we good at? What maps are they not good at?
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to see. I think Flux is probably going to have a big say with the vetoes and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see how they match up.
Okay, prediction time. We'll start with Harry.
Do you want to bother any more, Harry?
Well, this
Or you
is the
just giving
thing.
up now?
Every prediction I've said, I might just say the opposite. So because I'm thinking Infused, I'm going to say Pulse this time, 4-3.
Right.
But because Harry's going to
Is
be
he cursing teams now? Is that what's going on,
I was just
Mark?
about to say, if he's
Yeah.
picking Pulse, then obviously I'm picking Infused.
Yeah, of course.
Because
Alright. Score?
it goes 4-2.
4-2.
4-2.
Okay,
I think Pulse are going to land a bit, and they're going to
Alright,
put.
well,
some
we've
heads
got
up.
one of each so far here on the desk. We do want to make a very quick shout out to a company that personal fun favourite of mine as well, the Loot Crate guys. Thank you very much to you guys for providing all of the pro players here at the HCS EU 4 finals with a special Halo Loot Crate. Where's mine?
Good question.
I got owned. Didn't get one. But thank you very much for providing those. They are very appreciated by the players. Time now for our lower bracket final matchup to see who goes to the grand final. Is France going to continue along the road? Let's find out.
Thanks, Paul. I am joined by, of course, Andy Bravo Dudinsky.
Hey,
Pleasure to have you alongside me.
Yep.
We're starting things off with Strongholds Plaza. You're very good at breaking down the map. How about you let me know
That
your
was a long
thoughts.
time ago. That was a long time ago, guys.
How about you let me know your thoughts on Strongholds Plaza?
I mean, Strongholds Plaza, I'm going to keep going back to it, but Strongholds Plaza was also Vibe versus Infused game 1 in their series, and we saw Infused get smacked around 100-13. They also failed to veto it in the Fab E series, and they got smacked around again. I said it earlier, I don't know how we're here again, and I said, Infused would really need to ban this game type. And here we are, game 1, and they're playing it. And so for me, I think Pulse needs to just play their game, and I haven't seen anything out of Infused that suggests that they have any confidence in this game type. Once again, they banned Empire and they banned Eden here to get to game 1, so they have to. There's got to be something about how they feel about Plaza. It just hasn't shown yet.
Well, if we look back across the season, Infused have played Pulse twice, and they actually have beaten them both times.
There you go.
So their win rate isn't great on Plaza Strongholds, as you say, but the 2 wins that they have had have been against the Pulse squad, so that's probably why they're picking it. Strongholds on Plaza is the game type, 100 points to win. You can see that camouflage is their top middle, so expect a little bit of a fight for that to start things off. And I think it would only be right, as the crowd want it to happen, let's start things off with the Frenchman, SLG.
All right, yeah, kicking things off with him. We're going to look at his opening strategy here to see how they break out of their bases. Of course, early rushes for that camo. I'm going to keep an eye on camo.
Yeah, Cameron will be good to get, as SLG is just moving into Nest here. He will be securing this because he's not actually being contested whatsoever. Just making sure he takes out the barrel, misses the shot though. He needs to get rid of it just in case anyone is up there. That will be the Nest secure. Now he will move on and try and help his team secure other strongholds. It does look like Infused are stuck over in Yard.
And just an update on camo. Cali got the grab at about 50. That camo has since been retired, but it will help them get this early lead.
Early lead indeed. Now it's 6 points on the board as just the bullets are flying across the map from Pulse Gaming. They seem to be here, there, and everywhere right now, but SLG is holding down this Nest, and no one from Infused can escape this.
I love what I saw the discipline there from SLG. He could have forced that issue, right? They had 2 dead. He could have tried to challenge that on the ramp. Instead, immediately just pulls back. His team doesn't finish because I think that player actually pulled back into loot, but as you said, not to worry. He's just going to hang up here at Nest.
And there's 2 kills coming out from Infused, really important ones as well. They can start to push out. You can see a couple of members are there in the cafe. I like that they are pushing out in that direction rather than just pushing into a trap that Pulse are trying to set over here near Cinema. SLG is going to push back round to Nest, gets help from Punisher once again, whips out the shotgun, doesn't manage to get it, does actually trade. Kimbo goes down, so they will keep that Nest, I believe, but now Yard has been taken. So, points on the board for Infused finally, but then straight away Yard is taken by Pulse, so a good response from them.
Yeah, certainly a good response indeed. You see Doodle and crew pushing up, but it's actually a big trade from SLG. Also a good recovery for him to switch to shotgun. Maybe, moments after that, he might have thought it was a questionable decision, but for him to still get the trade, certainly big, because it sets them up to continue scoring.
Of course it does, as we do see Fraga actually getting taken down as we hop across the Cali. Now this man is always there for timing, power-ups, power weapons, so expect him to be moving to top middle for that camouflage, which should be coming up within the next 20 seconds or 10 seconds. I think you said it was at 50.
Right around there, yeah.
So Cali now, just here, stuck at Yard. He is going to be moving out. He does have the battle rifle in his hand, but he is alone. Does look like a teammate has just spawned behind him, so he will have got that communication, and now he can push out with the confidence of having that fire as he does help out, and Kimbo will be eliminated off the map. Total control here for Pulse. What an absolutely fantastic start.
Yeah, by the way, also keep an eye on that camo time. It actually did come up right around that 50 mark. It was grabbed by SLG at 45 and was burned. So we're going to be keeping an eye at 7:45 for that next camo. But tell you what, if the game continues like this, we might not even see that point in the game.
And you said you wanted to see Infused just veto this away because of their performances today. They obviously looked back from previous results and they thought they'd be able to do well here. But Pulse, they've never won this game in Pro League, but at the moment they are well on their way to doing so as we see the trade coming out between Kimbo and SLG. So we'll hop across over to Punisher here. Just top gold, laying down shots, gets the reset as well. Needs to try and stay alive, which he does. Good stuff. Total control still for Pulse Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, it's painful to watch them, to be honest, I've casted both their series so far, so it's painful to watch them play this game type a third time and still have the same result.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that perhaps they should have just got rid of it because they're not performing well
today.
On the day.
Yeah.
Punisher does lay down some good pistol fire, but eventually Kimbo comes in with the shotgun. It's good to have that in your back pocket, but in the moment, Infused need to do something because every time they're pushing out one by one and they're getting caught by a different Pulse member. Curse of the caster right now as we will move to SLG, the man, the crowd favorite, just hovering around bottom mid here. You can see it's being taken, so he's going to be a sneaky little beaver here. Misses his melee, unfortunately, but gets the second one and drops a couple extra just to make sure he's dead.
Yeah, I mean, and right now the score is 77-4 as an SLG chant will erupt from that, but to be honest, I think he's justified in that. They are dominating right now.
They are, and he's just going to keep dipping in and out of bottom mid here just to make sure that they can't take it. He did get the reset as well.
Jeez.
Batchford did come flying in, but he gets the trade. Yard will be captured, but bottom mid finally goes down to Infuse. They're starting to put points on the board. They've finally got a bit of map control, but now they need to use this map control. They need to set up accordingly. They need to try and trap Pulse exactly the same how Pulse were trapping them.
Yeah, interesting round here from Fragger too. I felt like he had an option to kind of go forward and just push glass directly. Instead, takes a long way home and luckily just waiting for teammates to spawn. Knows he has such a massive lead that they don't need to rush anything, you know?
Yeah, Camouflage was picked up. You saw Fragger was trying to take it down there, but he couldn't quite connect with the shots. Does find Kimbo with the perfect kill there, and now he's going to just try and settle into Yard here, but there will be someone to contest it, and unfortunately he goes down. Total control for Infused now, so this is what they needed. Yeah. This is how they were going to get back into it and Flux with the Camouflage.
And I hope I am corrected and forced to eat my words here because they're starting to mount a comeback. It was, if you recall, it was something like 60-4 moments ago, and now we're in a 32-78 game. So very, very different from Infused here. Obviously, Flux's camo grab contributed to that quite a bit. Now here they go, total control, double kill. They could continue rallying. It's not crazy to think we could be tied in about 2 minutes.
Of course, and we've seen a few comebacks from Infused today, so I definitely won't put it out of reach for them as Flux is just hovering around bottom mid, waiting to see if anyone is going to push. At the moment, Pulse have been favoring for that bottom mid push when they are coming out of Yard. I'd like to see them maybe try and flank round, try and grab Nest first before they think about it, because it can become highly contested down in bottom mid and difficult to take over.
Yeah, but nice job there from Flux to try to stay alive, but he's getting a lot of pressure there, so we'll go back over to SLG on the Pulse side, and they will begin scoring again. So obviously, for the Infused side, they don't really have a lot of cushion here for mistakes to make. They need to get another rally where they're maybe chaining a few total controls with some steady caps if they want to get back in the game.
If they can get this bottom mid, this will be huge, but grenades are going to come in thick and fast, as Sim would say. There were some big kills coming out of the Infused members, though. They need to get control once again, but Kali will answer back with the perfect kill. His grenades are really important here. If he can take down Batchford, but he can't. Kimbo will help out from across the map. They are still scoring, but Nest will now go into the favor of Infused. They are only about 40 points behind, so they can get back into this, I think, Bravo.
Yeah, they certainly can. It's going to require some fantastic amount of discipline, but that was some great shots there. I think that was from Fragger, who eventually will fall, but now over to Kali. They would have to play some great Halo, and it's not going to be easy, with Kali also throwing down some body shots. 90-54 to score.
Yeah, we've also got that other camouflage coming up soon as well. It may have already come down. I don't know if a player grabbed it or if it got burnt. Nest is currently being taken by Pulse as well, which would put them with total control and pretty much put this game to bed. Yard's being taken, but they may get total control for a little bit. No, Yard is taken, and they weren't able to get Nest. Great stuff from Batchford. He's got that camouflage. They've got total control. They need absolutely flawless play, like you say now. So they need to set up. They need to eliminate any routes for Pulse to get out of that Yard.
Oh, and it's going to be so difficult. Like you said, they're going to let Yard go. They're probably not going to force that until they get at least a few more kills. and get a little bit of a rotation going. But back-to-back camos there for Infused led them to this position where they potentially have a chance to get back in this.
Yeah, I think Pulse were just so close to that win that perhaps they forgot about the Camouflage, but Camouflage will go down in the hands of Batchford as we're on board with Doodle now, who's just trying to contest this bottom mid. He does pick up the kill, gets the reset as well. Really important total control now for Infused.
Jeez.
They are slowly crawling back into this, and this is where Pulse will start to get a little bit nervous. Maybe they'll start to push a bit unnecessarily.
And great aggression. I did not expect them to grab Yard as fast as they did for that back-to-back trip cap. So right now they're going to climb back in this, and another minute of this, not even, and they will win this game.
And as we said, that Batchford, I think, had pushed into Yard, so he got the reset on it. So even though Pulse had gone back into Yard, it looks like Infused are clawing back into it very quickly. 91, 93, it's racking up. The kills are on the board as well.
Here we go.
I don't think there is a way back into this for Pulse. This is an incredible comeback for Infused. That'll be game one going to them.
Word. Infused will grab game number 1, Strongholds Plaza, and force me to absolutely eat my words. They win 100-95, proving that they do know how to play that game type quite well.
Well, they definitely know how to play it against Pulse, that's for sure. And we've seen that a couple of times this season, to be honest.
Yeah, and you see on the Pulse side, they are not pleased with that result, how that game ended. Undoubtedly, lots of frustration there as we'll go ahead and take a look at the stats, tabbing over. Now looking at, looks like in the end it was Batchford going 21-13, which ultimately led to that. But for me, the moment that I think defined that comeback, back-to-back camos in the end to close.
Back-to-back camos. I think they had the majority of camos, to be honest. I'd expect more from Pulse, especially when they have players like Cali on board who constantly times it. You saw Cali was the member of the Pulse gaming squad that was just having a few words with his teammates, a bit of frustration. Maybe it was advice. You know, French can be a little bit aggressive sometimes, so you don't want to take it as a negative thing. He might just be saying, look guys, let's forget that game, let's move on to the next one. But it's definitely going to be a hard one for them to swallow.
It certainly is. When we take a look at the highlights, that they'll give us an idea of just how strong that lead was. And I mean, I think, you know, I myself was being quite harsh against the guys on the Infused side, as Pulse had a pretty strong opening, and we didn't see anything special once again from Infused. But man, did they ever get their stuff together to rally. I mean, it required, so here you are, 53-4 was the score, folks. That game was halfway over with a massive triple cap for Pulse, right? Here we go, 66-4 again. I mean, you cannot overstate 75-4 now, folks. You cannot overstate just how wild this comeback was for the Infused side. And like we said, that has got to hurt Pulse, right? Not only did they have that game won, they totally let that game go.
And we speak about momentum all the time within Halo 5, and now moving on to game 2, which I believe is Slayer. It is Plaza again. What is that going to do to Pulse's mentality is my real question. You can see, just looking at their body language, they are a little bit deflated here, but what would you be saying to them if you were stood behind them, as you do see the vetoes that are on your screen there now?
I think they need to slow things down. What we've seen from Pulse is that they can play a pretty good slow game. We've also we haven't seen them play Plaza Slayer since their Vibe series, which I believe they would have won that game. If I'm actually, I may be incorrect there, but I think we've seen that they, you know, when they play a slowed down Slayer, they can certainly control the game. What I'm worried about for Pulse is that if Infused kind of picks up that same steam, same momentum, same pace of the play, that they could continue going. Because we saw last time we saw Infused beat Vibe, they just went on a tear, right? They're just ripping through, and I feel like that's what we're seeing now from Infused, is that same kind of emotion, that same kind of passion. I mean, they were down 75-4 and connected the trip caps. They didn't let up at all. They had a perfect. I love how fast they pushed back into Yard in the last minute of that game to get another trip cap from 83 to 95. Then it's an easy ride home for them. But we're going right back to Plaza here for game number 2 with Infused now surprisingly with a massive comeback win. They'll lead the series 1-0.
Yeah, and I really want to start off with Batchford because he had the most kills in that last game, and looking across the season statistics, you'd like to lean towards Infused here. They have a 67% win rate across Plaza Slayer, just 20% for Pulse. So definitely favoring Infused here, and they have always been a Slayer team, but you can't count out the French when we get to a Slayer because they do have such heavy hitters in their squad.
That's right. It's actually going to be Cali, I think, who tried to go for that camo grab, but now actually taking a look across. Not sure exactly where that might have gone. We'll stay on board here with Batchford, though, off of the respawn. The first 3 kills there going for Pulse.
Yeah, Batchford just sneaking around here towards Yard. He doesn't want to get caught out at the moment. They are 3 kills behind, make that well, he was 4th temporarily, grabs the SMG, will now move up to top gold, see if he can get any shots. Needs to actually help his teammates, because a couple of his teammates have just been caught out in the wind at the moment.
Oh, and I gotta show you, SLG is trying to get away with the sniper in Hotel desperately, and a lack of communication there, right? If Batchford has got to know there's a player in Hotel there, because SLG had actually been heading there for quite some time. Kimbo had been shooting him from Nest for about 3 seconds, right? So then Batchford absolutely needs to get that call out. Maybe he had too much to worry about, but regardless, Pulse off to a good start here, but if we've learned anything from Infused, it's that their late game is quite strong.
The late game definitely is strong, but how many times have we seen this? SLG with the sniper just ripping off faces. He's just trying to find an angle now to make sure that he can spot any Infused player that does push towards his team members over there by Cinema. He's actually going to go for a really aggressive response here. Flux was just crouching, gets absolutely wiped off the face of the map. And this is excellent stuff from Pulse. Not only is SLG in a fantastic position with the sniper, but his teammates are watching every other exit, so he knows full well where Infused are pushing from.
That's right, and you gotta love the angles that he's playing and also the way his team is kind of supporting him. They're not really letting opponents get close at all, trying to keep his teammates alive, and now they're 14-7 is a pretty comfortable lead. So off the spawn, they just need to continue playing at the exact pace that they're doing. He can probably cycle if he needs to all the way back to glass loop right now.
Yeah, rotating will be a very good thing here. He can obviously communicate with his teammates, knows that they have spawned there, so he's going to move to top gold, see if he can find an angle. Does see Doodle over there, but he is going to try and get the no-scope, runs out of ammo. That would have been a disgusting shot if he had hit it. But now he's pushing around with his teammates, and he only has the pistol to work with. He will actually look across here. This is good stuff.
I was going to say, I'd love to see the Nest push right now because they left Cafe and Flowers entirely, and they don't have a really great loop presence. All weapons are out of ammo here. Let's see, presumably light rifle could be up, maybe a BR or SMG, but it looks like Ginzeg going to grab that storm rifle. So, and also BR, yes indeed. 15-9 though. Right now they're kind of in no man's land. They don't have some of the key pillars of kind of the counter setup, and it's kind of falling apart right there.
Yeah, unfortunately Pulse were just stuck between a rock and a hard place there. They weren't able to escape the clutches of Infused as we hop across to Batchford. New sniper rifle will be coming up soon, and Infused have the majority of the map control, so you would expect that to be theirs.
Yeah, certainly. They're down now 11-16. They kind of climbed their way back in this because they were just down 14-7, so slowly bringing this game back, but most importantly, keeping it within reach. We're still early in the game, and looks like they may even get this kill in Hotel, so look at this, only down by 4 now.
Yeah, sniper rifle will be up, so we'll see who is going to be taking that one for Infused, I would presume, as Batchford's going to push in aggressively, but Kali says no with his light rifle in hand, and he will scope in to see if he can find any other enemies. Actually, 2 spawners down there at Lift, but he gets absolutely ripped by Flux, who has that sniper rifle.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw that off screen. Let's find out exactly where that sniper rifle ends up. Punisher actually will fall immediately, so now over to Batch.
Yeah, Batchford just trying to see if he can find that sniper rifle, definitely searching for it. You can see he's just prowling everywhere, saying, where is that sniper rifle? But I'm not sure anyone's been able to find it. Perhaps we'll move across. Yes, Kimbo does have the sniper rifle on his side, so we'll jump across to him, see if he's able to hit any shots. They currently have a 4-kill deficit here to Pulse, and Pulse actually doing well to keep this game nice and slow, exactly what you said earlier, Andy.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Now here we are, 20-21. So look at that, it was just 14-7. Now we're all tied up here at 21-21, but if Kimbo just keeps connecting here, they're going to extend their lead even further. Kimbo's going to decide to wisely just reload and count his victories there, as they now have a 2-kill lead. But Infused looks really good. I'd love to hop into a listen-in a moment with Team Infused, as they've really been connecting all the puzzle pieces to get right back in this game and executing this late-game strategy.
Yeah, and there's that overshield. Snipes him through it. Goes for the no-scope. Doesn't actually pick up the overshield, so overshield is still up. I think.
Yep, it's going to be a burn at 39, right? Okay, let's go ahead now and jump into a listen-in here with Team Infused. They're up by 2 in Game 2, Plaza Slayer.
What's up, I showed you once, Ryan.
Stay together. Nice, Robbie.
I'm with you.
They might want left.
Behind us, yeah.
I can watch behind you. I don't know whereabouts. Go ledge, I think.
I'm looking bomb snipe now. Yeah, bomb snipe. Lift weak, he's watching, I think. One shot. Just dead.
I'm probably going to die. I'll try to stay alive. No, I backed up. Watch my back.
One's on soda. One go soda.
2 on me. 3 on me.
I'll break it weak.
U-turn.
U-turn was one. Yeah, not this. Stay alive. I'm backing out.
I'm going to spread out.
Yeah, spread out. I'm just crushing posters here. Go ledge. Two shot. One nade me.
Crossing over.
One shot at me. On glass. Make SG. On glass. On stairs. Yeah, they're gonna push nice slow. Slow right now. Watch out. I'm here. Bait and switch.
Dip.
No, what's the
Nice. One was in dip, I think. I don't know where he went.
Okay. Here.
I'm crossing back to nest. Just push out loot.
They're flowers going back to Yard.
Man, I'll set a spur if you do that.
Alright. We go. Yard BR. U-turn. Big kill. U-turn. Yard BR, SLG, kill me. Absolute dead. Nice.
I don't know where he shot from blue.
Where was he? L1 Robbie. L1 I got naded in the U-turn. Weak. Help Robbie if you can.
He's one shot.
Watch it, Robbie. Nice. I'm on glass.
Hotel Fragger.
Blue shot, one shot. I'm in Yard. Watch it, dip, easy kill. I'm going goalless to look.
Hotel still, he's gonna be pen.
He's still there. Blue truck. Yeah, blue truck weak.
He's one middle Cali.
Blue truck weak. Over field.
Your last
What time was Lobby?
38.
To go catch now.
38 Ovi.
One's top goal. Hey, he named me sub goal. He stand by me. One for the source. Nice.
38 Ovi, guys. 38.
On silo, guys. U-turn. Top mid punish line.
38.
They're on it.
Run it. 37. Not on Tordo. I have snipe.
I'm backing down. He might push you.
Yeah, I'm backing up. I got eyes on Obi.
He's crouching here.
I'm in blue now.
We have sniping yard, guys. We have
Stop test. We can play this really slow.
We have sniping yard, guys.
Yeah.
Crouching lip.
Watch crouch and post this. One guy next round. We can post this. Don't die. One guy me blue. Two shot. I gotta get away from him. I gotta get away from him. Just one. That's all you do.
You're gonna get chased down.
I'll go. He's down white guy. He's great. He's bottom left. No pair. There's two guys bottom.
The biggest thing I take from that listening was Infused just saying, stay alive, no death.
Right.
We can't get this, we can't give this away, we just need to make sure we get that first kill, don't allow them to trade, but it is just a one-kill game.
And that seems to be the style they play, right? As Batch is getting some heavy pressure here in Yard, and hits the no-scope, though, on Fragger, pushing him back and extending their lead to 3 kills. But that's the biggest thing I've seen about Infused is they play a very disciplined Slayer. They don't play aggressive, flying out as fast as they can. They want to get no deaths, take as little damage as they can, and force those advantages.
Which is crazy, considering the Infused that we saw last season. They were a polar opposite, to be honest. The start of their games were always fantastic, and they would win if they snowballed out of control. This Infused, however, if they are behind, they just like to slow it down, take control, and their late game is absolutely fantastic. As Batchford's trying to hit shots, but can't connect with the face of Cali, but his teammate is there to clean it up.
I mean, I'm surprised Cali is extending that much for Batchford there, as he's just going to get taken down. And look at this, and I did not see this happening towards the end of this match. As when you have Batchford sitting back and missing snipes, typically the result is going to be very different, but instead they extend their lead even further now. They're up by 4.
Batchford had no right to trade with that kill as well. That was really important. He was able to get that. Those are the kind of plays that can win you games, just getting those important trades, as we are on board with Cali, just hearing Cafe. Couple of important kills coming from his team, though, so it is just a 3-kill game, and I believe that we are looking for a new overshield at some point.
Yeah, it's actually going to be a Batchford grab, so I'm going to go ahead and show you that right now. It's the other side of this battle. It's 46-44. He needs to not get stuck and stay alive. Very wise. He's got a half overshield left, so that can win them the game right here.
It definitely can. He's trying to be aggressive, misses the plasma pistol by mere inches. He's going to jump top gold and just find anyone in Yard here. There's one. This should be clean sweeping now for Infused if they push in accordingly. They can just pincer. They can go in like piranhas. They'll finish it off. 2-0 to Infused. Like clockwork. Yet again, they go behind, but their late game is too strong for Post.
It is, and I've been so impressed by it. Both their series versus Vibe and now their series versus Pulse. It seems to be a series of repeating events for them, as they have no problem going down early, and even by quite a margin, right? They're down by double their opponent's score. They're down 14-7, and before you know it, it's 21-21. So they really rallied back there.
I'm trying to wonder whether that says more about Infused or whether it says more about Pulse throwing these games away, as we will take a look at the statistics. It looks pretty normal. Kimbo at the top of the board with 15 kills, Batchford just behind with 14, and Doodle 12, Flux and 9, as you can see on your screen. On the other side, Fragger once again putting up big numbers for his team, but it's not going to be enough. Cali going -2. So for me, I really think Pulse need to just work on getting that control in the mid game. That seems to be when they throw it away for me, Andy. At the moment, they just say, okay, we've got a good start, but how do we push on from this? How do we make sure that we lock out these games? We saw them doing it against Fab. They were taking Fab to these close Slayer games, but they just couldn't finish it off.
Right, I mean, take a look at the highlights now from that match. Keep in mind, Pulse, as you said, off to such a great start, and I think if you're on the Pulse side, they need to continue playing their game, but simply playing the mid and the long game, right? I mean, they've shown that on each of these game types, they know exactly how to control, how to execute. They just aren't continuing here, as Kimbo would eventually reload and get all those kills. I mean, and Kimbo's control is ultimately what helped them tie the game. And then from there, right here, you remember that was a significant multi-kill, and they really didn't look back from this mark. Kimbo very vocal during that listening as well, making sure that those key kills. This play I love. He zooms in, stabilized, zooms in to force the single shot, and then is able to take out SLG as well. So take a look at this shot from Batch, though. They're up 40-38, and look at this. Through the smoke, through the leaves, through the trees, Batchford takes down Fragger. It's not, it's not very welcoming. You're not going to want to go through that doorway again.
Those are the kind of kills, as Wonderboy would say, untradeable kills as well. Really important. He had about 4 bullets left in his sniper. If he had died there, the sniper would have got given away to the opposition. They might have been able to press on and win that game. So just being able to hit those clutch shots is really important, as we are looking at the vetoes for Game 3, which will be Fathom capture the flag. Stasis was taken off the board by Infused. Truth vetoed by Pulse. They've done it all season. I think they've vetoed Truth every single game so far in Pro League, and then Coliseum taken away by Infused, leaving us with Fathom.
Yeah, this is the 3rd time actually Infused today alone that Infused will have banned Coliseum CTF, and as a result will also have played Fathom CTF as a CTF in their series. So we've seen Infused play this several times, and they must be pretty comfortable with it. Based on the fact they want to play it here again.
Yeah, it is the most played capture the flag game type for both teams, I believe. A 60% win rate for Pulse across the board of Pro League. Only 43% for Infused, but they have played it a couple more times. They've matched up twice on this game type so far this season. The first time Pulse actually won 3-2, but when they had that replay, it was a 2-1 victory to Infused, sorry. So they are matching at 1-1. So this will be the 3rd and the decider, as such, of Fathom capture the flag. What would your advice be for either team when pushing onto a Fathom capture the flag, Andy?
I think for Pulse, what they need to do is not lose that steam, and obviously that's much easier said than done, but specifically and strategically, I think they need to continue to play for power positions rather than traded kills, right? I think we've seen a lot of trades that they didn't need, or sacrificing 1v1 battles they don't need, and it results in a loss of power weapons, power ups, and power positions. And that's, and when you see back-to-back camo grabs, for example, from Infused, that's how they rally back. So this isn't just about Pulse slowing down. This is about them really making sure that they have the key pillars of their gameplay in place so that Infused cannot take advantage of it.
I'm really interested to see the battle for camouflage in this game as well, because you do have members of Pulse like Kali who will always be there to contest that camouflage, or at least time it, as SLG makes a fantastic jump. He's pretty much uncontested. Bullets were firing from the opposition base, but no one was up top to stop him from grabbing this. So now, not only does he have the camouflage, but he's also got the timing for it for the rest of the game. Does see if he can find Railgun, but he can obviously tell someone else has that one, so he won't be rewarded with that. But there it is. There's the Railgun, I believe.
It stays on.
But I think it fell off the map, so he won't be able to grab that.
Yeah, but I mean, you can bet right there that what you had was they're making sure intentionally to sit there just in case camo came by that the Railgun actually would fall off the map. So a pretty heads-up play, but also got to love that SLG jump, right? No one else tried it on the other side. If they did try it, they missed the jump, so it gives him a free camo to start. They aren't able to convert on it, but like you said, they're going to have the exact time.
Yeah, those are the kind of things that you need to do to win games. You need to practice those jumps. You need to be familiar with the map. As Kimbo is trying to stay alive, he's dancing around the pillars at the moment. Will eventually take down Fragger, but there are several more members swarming in. Grenades will come in, and he will get taken down in the end. Moving across to SLG, just pushing through Treehouse now. No support from his teammates though, so he needs to be careful. Just needs to communicate where he is, where he's positioned himself. Does find Batchford just on his own. Nice and easy 1v1 there for him.
And looks like he might even try to help Kali across the map. He's going to go immediately to porch. It felt like what SLG was doing on that last play, Gaskin, was he knew there was a little bit of trouble back home, but instead went for the push. And so far it's paid off, as he's been a part of 2 big kills there to kind of even out the playing field once again.
So when we saw Pulse on Fathom capture the flag in previous games, they've always been on the back foot. They've not really been the team that's asked the questions. I'd like to see them get aggressive, get in Infused faces and say, look, we're going to make you respond to our questions rather than constantly being on the back foot. I think that's when they are at their best. As Kali is just trying to lay down some shots here. He is in a really sticky situation here, as a lot of his teammates are down, but he isn't managing to stay alive, just putting shots across everything.
And you mentioned dictating the pace of play, kind of controlling the game for yourself. Against a team like Infused, you absolutely have to do it, because each time we see them not do that is when Infused is going to start to run away with the lead.
Perfect kill for Kali though. He is just sitting on his base, but look at this. 3 members of Pulse, they're having to reel back into their own base. They have to make sure that they're not letting any Infused members into their base. Now he's going to push to top mid. I believe Camouflage is going to be coming up soon as well, so take a look for that one. Anyone going to be grabbing it, whether it was burnt or not, I'm not too sure. Railgun is also up. but it won't go into the hands of anyone, as I believe it was on the death screen of Fragger. Flag will be pulled, and you can see the quad point of view here, and now we'll move across to Flux after he was able to get that return.
Yeah, it had to have been a burn. That's a good call, Gaskin, on that camo. It was up around 50 and right around the 41 mark. We didn't see it anywhere, so expect that to be somewhere on an estimate of 45.
Batchford does have a railgun and he does do some disgusting things with it, but we're on board with Flux off the spawn, just taking this battle at Stylo. And I've said time and time again that Flux will happily take any 1v1, but he's not able to win that one. Now, Batchford, railgun, unable to hit that shot. Can see that his flag has been pulled though, so he needs to get into a position where he can defend it. Misses that railgun shot as well though, so shots just not connecting for Infused at the moment. So Pulse do seem to be leading in the slaying department.
Now here over to Fragger. Haven't spent enough time with him this series as we'll go on board with him, but that looks like that flag will go ahead and not be captured. It'll still stay out there as the flag will go down again, but 2 red X's means he probably has to slow down a bit.
Neither team have been able to get real control. They've not been able to get 4 dead and then look out for spawns. They've just been jumping into base, pulling the flag when maybe 2 are dead, and then it means that they've been spawning, returning the flag, and it's just been back and forth, each team just trying to get an advantage by pulling a flag and relaying it across the map, but it's really not worked at the moment, and that is why we are still at 0-0 despite having almost 4 minutes of play. And being 4 minutes of play means the camouflage will be coming up in about 20 seconds. Railgun also spawning as well, so really important moment of the game here.
Yeah, lots of slaying from Infused. That's the second time you've seen a lot of players dead for the squad, so let's just go ahead and take a look at Kimbo as he's about to bring this flag in through Porch.
Really important time to run a flag as well. If you know that the railgun and the camouflage are going to be up, you can take a bet that your opposition is going to be distracted. He does put it in despite being eliminated by the railgun, but good run there from Kimbo. Obviously seeing that the opposition would be going for that camouflage and railgun, and Flux does find a railgun on the floor, but he will be destroyed. And actually look at that jump yet again for camouflage. It's going to be Doodle taking that one.
I tell you what, thank goodness that Kimbo did get that flag in milliseconds before the rail hit, if that. I mean, it was so fast, but I'm not sure he actually had anyone escorting, so that might have caused some crazy moments there, frantic in the back, but Kimbo makes sure to waste no time and get the cap in.
And we're going to move across now to Flux through his death screen and see what he can do off spawn. As you can see, the flag is being run. There were a couple of members trying to stop that one as we'll move across to SLG. Can he put this one in? Yes, he will. Tying it up. I'm sure the crowd will be happy. They've been chanting SLG all day. Doesn't manage to find Doodle, but he may chase this one as Doodle retreats to Treehouse. Can't actually get it as Batchford comes from the silo from behind to help his teammate. Great communication and great teamwork from Infused there.
Right there, need to make sure that no trades happen, but just as quickly as I say that, both players of Infused actually will fall. Some great plays by Cali with this light rifle eventually. That will be traded as well, so over to Kimbo, who has a light rifle of his own.
And we saw him do disgusting things with the light rifle last game, but unfortunately, we won't see him replicate it right now as Punisher is just trapped in his base. He's trying to defend his flag from being pulled, but he's got several members of Infused pushing. Doodle will take him down, and now that will be a flag pull for Infused, but grenades are going to stop him from running this just yet. Needs to work out of the base with his teammate. Cali comes flying in, but thankfully for Flux, he was weak, so he was able to get that kill with the medic.
Yep. And great timing, of course. Great patience. Going to let 2 grenades go off right there, bait the flag just a little bit, and once again, be patient because he knows he might need to drop and shoot here. There's nobody at home, which could be a sign of good or bad things, as his flag is, of course, gone. So right now, it looks like he is alone. Going to make a bold railgun push here, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, because railgun and camouflage are coming up yet again, so Infused pulling it during these pressure moments when you have multiple things to worry about. But we saw several really important kills coming out for Pulse, and that may be the return. Actually, I believe Punisher got that kill. Doesn't quite get the return. No, there we go, another kill. Here we go. Flux is still able to keep this one going. This is amazing stuff from Flux. He always finds himself in those situations, those precious situations where he needs to get the kill to keep his team in it.
One thing I got to point out, twice we've seen players, it was Kimbo and now Flux, drop the flag entirely and focus on other objectives. In both situations, it's been Batchford who's been off the spawn and told those players, presumably, to push up because he was falling in to get control of that flag. So heads up plays from Batchford to let his teammates push up when they otherwise, they don't know if he's coming off spawn. So great communication there.
And it's really important when you have that flag to have someone who is going to be just able to do great stuff with it. Flag goes in though. Pulse go 2-1 up.
Oh, man.
Great push from Pulse Gaming. They had the railgun. They all pushed in together. They left the flag on their own, but they said we have the man advantage. We can push in and we can win this fight. Can he do it? Fragger finishes off. Gets the double kill onto Kimbo. Throws his hand in the air to say, and what we can come back into this series.
Look at this. That's just, I mean, Pulse answering back on the other side. You know, Cali also, when he brought that flag, and you actually see him take his hands off his controller and celebrate for a second. I mean, they are hyped. They want to get back in this series.
Yeah, SLG does get taken down, though. The trade will happen as things are starting to slow down just a little bit. 4 minutes and 20 on the clock, and Cali is jumping top mid. And that will mean that Camouflage is going to be up in about 30 to 40 seconds. So Cali will start to communicate that with his teammates. Perhaps he is setting up early, but it is going to be a little bit too premature as he is eventually taken down as we move across to SLG.
Yeah, SLG is going to play this nice and slow, and you know, certainly not a bad idea. He's got help here. They've got the lead now after that cap. So they seem to play this, I think, the same way they've been playing. They don't need to change anything about the strategy from the early game. And you hope, if you're a Pulse Gaming fan, that that's what they'll continue to do for these last 3.5 minutes. Either ride this game out and win the game by 1, or go ahead and really play that aggression that they've been doing and really flying into the enemy base to force the returns.
SLG getting the return straight away. Important that he did so it can't be relayed across the map. Moving through Treehouse, just looking top middle now. Camouflage should be coming up. There it is. Player from Infused did grab it, but Punisher rips his face off with the railgun there. It was Kimbo who did have the camouflage, so no camouflage will make a difference currently, as Fragger is with his teammate here in Treehouse. Does actually connect with a grenade. You did see the hit marker, so someone on silo has been weak there. And now at top mid, he's just getting this vantage point. Always important to have a vantage point with the battle rifle. Hits the perfect kill onto Kimbo, and at the moment, Kimbo has been on the wrong end of some real impressive kills.
And we do have Batch starting a flag run in the enemy base, but nothing to really worry about. Too many players, I think, on the other side have fallen back. So that's a heads-up play as we'll switch over to SLG, and he's going to make sure this flag stays at home. Batchford trying to make a pull, maybe bait it, and turn it into something, but I don't think they're going to be able to here.
No, I don't think they will. At the moment, Pulse, they seem to get a little bit too excited when they do get 1 or 2 kills. You can see them push in a little bit, maybe overzealous as they go into their opposition base, and then they just get caught out. And if they just were a little bit more patient, if they communicated a bit better, if they just said, look, they're going to be spawning silo, we need to wait, we don't want to push in, we might get caught out in case they spawn engine. As SLG tries to get behind, misses a few shots, he will probably pull this flag just to try and distract Infused. As you can tell, several members of Infused are on his side of the base.
Yeah, we got to see now, because Batchford is bringing this back, and it looks like if you look at the numbers game, I think they have 2 dead still, but Batchford will die. Who is that Punisher who's trying to get into this last return? They're not able to do it, though, so still following the action here. It's going to be Doodle who's trying to fly in off the kill screen, but Kimbo who's going to go to the porch with the double, and he needs to bring this in to tie the game up. 2 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, but he goes down, and actually there's a big kill coming in.
Dead.
He's sitting on the return, he gets it. Hamza gets the kill, that Flux got the kill, but the flag was returned. So Pulse will keep this 2-1 advantage as we get the quad view of Pulse right now. I'm looking at Cali in that top right-hand corner. He has just spawned in his base. But you can see down the bottom right, Punisher just gets a really important kill with a Storm Rifle. Doesn't quite get the double kill though. And I've got to say, Andy, at the moment, Pulse, 1 minute 30 seconds. They are looking good. They are defending well.
That's right, and that's exactly what we needed to see. They answered very strong as we'll go to SLG with the rail here on the main screen, but they defended that very well, and it looked like the late game Infused aggression was on the way. However, we saw a great response there from the guys here on Pulse.
Unable to connect with that initial railgun shot, but off the wall it did do a little bit of splash damage, so SLG was able to finish it off. And now, several kills coming out from Pulse. It's whether they are going to push up and go for that third and final flag cap, or whether they are just going to set up camp now. SLG hits Batchford off spawn. Infused are going to be like, what can we do? We are just getting shot every single time we spawn anywhere on the map at the moment. And it looks like Pulse are more than happy to just slay as SLG picks up the double. Does need to be careful though, because 2 of his teammates have just been taken out.
Yeah, so I like what he's doing here though, right? He's going to check this flag corner. If he dies though, he needs to really rally back with his teammates. So let's see exactly how they're setting up. We'll go to Fragger, who's wisely pushing up with Cali. They don't want to just turtle right now, because obviously on Fathom, a map like that, if you sit back in your base, you are toast. So instead, they're going to try to go for this top mid control.
You definitely are, and you know full well that Infused is going to be trying to run this flag. They are going to get extremely aggressive and push across. SLG did get a double kill, but he gets taken down off the map. We're actually going to move across to Batchford, who is going to try and capture this flag. They're trying to relay it across. Needs to get the touch. He does.
Wow.
He is on no shields. Needs to make sure he gets away. Will he be able to throw it down? Yes, he does. But only 8 seconds remaining. Is anyone in a position for Pulse to stop this? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse put 1 on the board in this series. Now they're only 2-1 down. Incredible stuff from Pulse Gaming. Exactly what they needed to do to get back into it.
For a little bit of taunting there, a little bit of crouching from SLG, as they knew that flag would not be capped. But that is a big play, and I didn't get eyes on exactly who it was, but Kimbo had that flag run Treehouse, and they stopped it and forced either Batchford or Doodle to fly into that treehouse to try to salvage it, and they were not able to do so. So as a result, we're going to see, like you said, now Pulse Gaming on the board in the series and not going down without a fight.
Yeah, Infused just really struggled to get back into it once Pulse had that lead. They just set up shop. They weren't really going for that third flag. Occasionally they sent one man in just to take a flag in case their flag was being run. But we're going to take a look at these statistics, and wow, there are some big numbers there from Pulse, clearly stepping it up. Flux, on the other hand, 27 kills, so he was still doing work, but I mean, the standout player, SLG, yet again.
Yeah, and once again, all players on Pulse, 20-plus kills. On the other side, Flux only doing it very well, but the only player to break that 20-kill mark. Doodle and Kimbo both getting close at the 19 mark. So Pulse, in that example, that was a full 12-minute match. We saw them ride it out. That's something we haven't seen them do in the series yet, so it's encouraging to see. We saw a lot of late-game pressure from Infused, but in the end, Pulse played every piece of that game that they needed to, and as we said, that had been their weakness up until this point. It was Batchford who sits there and lets that railgun flap. What a heads-up play. I have to assume that was intentional, knowing the camo player might find him with no shields. Here's the Kimbo. Look at this. Boom. I mean, that is some wild timing as they cap that flag. But in the end, we saw some really great stuff from both sides, and Pulse Gaming is able to close it out.
It seemed like Pulse were pulling flags and Infused weren't really expecting it at times. Pulse were able to get it halfway across the map as we are just looking at this really tasty double kill from Fragger. You saw him just stand up, release his pad. You know it means a lot when you are just going to give up on the game for a few seconds. But Pulse were able to get flags halfway across the map without Infused even noticing at times. So you can see here, 2 minutes were still on the clock when they had that 2-1 lead, and we've seen this happen before in Pro League when these guys last faced up on Fathom Capture the Flag. It finished 2-1 to Infused rather than 2-1 to Pulse. So both times, it hasn't gone to that 3 flag captures because these two teams are so closely contested. But now, moving on to Game 4, which I believe is Strongholds on Eden. A very strong game type for Pulse. Actually, 100% win record. They played it 5 times across Pro League, Andy.
Wow. Yeah, so certainly something that that Infused is going to need to be ready for as well. To take a look at those videos, they're actually on your screen right now. We saw Plaza played in Game 1, so we saw an Infused ban of Empire. That's not the first time they've banned the game type, certainly. The Rig getting a ban from the Pulse side, and here we are now on Eden. I think we saw this game type earlier as well. We saw it in the Vibe versus Infused series, so this will be the second time we'll see it for that squad.
It is a good game type for Infused as well. Their win percent is 75, and they have played it 4 times, so they've won 3 out of 4. They've not matched up against Pulse on this game type before, so this is going to be a fresh one. Obviously, they may have played each other in scrims, but certainly in the Pro League, they haven't faced off against each other. But now momentum, possibly with Pulse. They've got a very confident game type ahead of them, so perhaps this is their chance to turn this series around.
And what was interesting, you saw the frustration from Pulse after they had lost that Strongholds Plaza. Kind of an inexcusable loss there. In the Slayer they had a lead as well, but the Plaza game, when you're up by 70-plus points, there's certainly no excuse to lose in a game that's to 100. A lot of frustration coming out of Cali, but at the same time, what I love that I'm seeing is you might have noticed it in the player cams, but when I'm not sure exactly who capped it. I think it might have been Punisher, but or Fragger rather, it would have been as I look down at the stage. Cali actually celebrates, right? Like takes his hand off the controller and he's like, yeah, he's so fired up about these flag caps. So lots of emotion coming from Cali, but it's great to see he's frustrated at losses and also celebrates the victories.
Yeah, you've got to remember, everyone counted Pulse out. They said, look, they qualified 4th, came 4th in Pro League. They're probably going to finish 4th at finals. They've got guaranteed 3rd already, but they want to move on to 2nd as we are going into game number 4. Strongholds Eden. Starting things off with the man you said that was getting very pumped about those flag caps. It is Cali just moving into Cat here. Needs to try and take down Batchford X. Batchford is going to try and escape with that camouflage. Wow. Where did he go?
That wasn't him though, that was Kimbo, so he still needs to pick up this last kill and he's frantically trying to find where this player might have gone and knows that he can't waste too much time doing so he's going to have to let that go. And just so you guys know, Batchford actually went bottom red. He's still there and now pushing out. And finally, Batchford comes out from hiding once the shield recharged. Camo still in hand.
How frustrating is that? He was searching for so long for the camouflage and then it comes from behind and just deletes him off the map. Now, Batchford moving towards Turbine here. Moving outside, he's got the brute plasma rifle in hand and actually finishes off Punisher and gets some rockets as a reward. He'll stick them in his back pocket, needs to stay alive, needs to make sure he runs here. At the moment, Infused do have control of the map and they are putting points on the board.
Very surprised he was able to get away there. Batchford actually got eagle-eyed for a moment there. by Punisher, so got to be frustrating for Punisher as eventually we'll still see Batchford pick up that kill, but early lead here for the guys on Infused.
Yeah, Doodle finds Fragger on his own, and he had rockets in his back pocket as well, so that's very nice to find on a dead body. And now Doodle can move on to try and help his teammates, but at the moment, they don't really need to do much more. They have control of the map. Blue Bend is being taken though, so that is why Doodle's trying to take this nest. Needs to be careful of grenades. 3 members of his team are down, so he is the last alive right now, and expect grenades to be coming in from here, there, and everywhere. He isn't able to survive though, so expect the reset to come in right about now.
Doodle tries to stay alive there. Kimbo falls as well, so now as we go over to Flux, he's pushed back, so slowly we're going to see Pulse starting to put some numbers on the board, but interesting though, because what we saw there was, you know, a pretty solid opening for Pulse, and we haven't necessarily seen that in the series.
We haven't, and SLG getting a really important secure there on Catwalk. He did go down afterwards, but that means they are still putting points on the board. Rockets will be coming up soon. There they are, they're on the field, but Flux will be absolutely eliminated, and now we can move across to Fragger, who has just picked up a kill, getting a killing spree, and he gets an overshield as well, so good timing from Pulse Gaming. Now they can move on. He needs to be careful of these rockets though, because they will absolutely make waste of his overshield as he's going to move back to the red base.
Yeah, of course, SMG in hand is going to allow him to do some real carnage here with a little bit of overshield left would pretty much guarantee him anything that got in close quarters, and he's going to use it wisely. Kimbo not able to connect there, finds another player. My goodness, he could turn 2 here, but instead he gets double teamed there, so some great awareness from the other side of the stage over to Batchford.
And obviously his overshield went to waste, but I believe that was 3 or 4 rockets all used trying to take that overshield, so they almost cancelled each other out as Batchford is just going to back off here after grabbing that nest. They did temporarily have total control, but now Pulse need to push on. They need to try and get another stronghold because time is ticking on for Infused, but neither team's been able to get real control. It's been very back and forth. It's been very rotational based as Batchford from behind will absolutely take everyone off the map there, but the final member of Pulse was Punisher.
Wow.
He did take him down.
Punisher doing really well though to stay alive, get a distraction medal as well as that last kill, so despite the fact that time is starting to tick away from them, I like what I'm seeing from him, and the moments like that, especially in strongholds, right, when you're able to pick off a player and stay alive to force another kill as your teammates spawn, those are the difference between, and for example, now they're scoring again. You can bet that if Punisher hadn't stayed alive through that, if he had been taken down, there's no way they'd be putting points on the board right now.
Infused are rotating as a squad right now, is what I'm really impressed by. As I say that, they just find one player on his own, but Flux, despite getting beat down first, responds and gets an incredible reversal there. Batchford trying his best to stop Red Nest being taken, but he's not able to do so. Total control finally for Pulse. This is what I mean. Once you get that total control, once you start putting those points on the board, it's very hard to get back into, but Infused instantly reply with the take of Catwalk as we are now on board with SLG. Not able to finish that kill just yet, but Kimber will be taken off of Catwalk. I wouldn't be surprised if SLG moves around to try and take Catwalk for himself.
Jeez. And look at the damage that SLG is doing right now. Is I think we're going to have maybe, yes, it was a 51 over shield, but it looks like SLG went a little bit early. A perfect kill. It's going to be 3 dead there on the Infused side. So I'm so glad we got to switch to SLG. Lucky switch for me because, and he's going to also grab his camo. This is a wild spree.
Wow.
He's the only player alive on Blue Bend and then knows that he has to double back. So has an amazing kill on Catwalk, jumps up, gets 2 players weak bottom middle, forces the overshield grab, swings around to grab another kill, and ultimately grabs camo. Now they're up by 10. This is the SLG show.
Yeah, those are the kind of plays we've expected from him. The kind of plays he's been doing all season, and that is why he is the best player on Pulse. That is why he is the captain of Pulse. To be honest, unfortunately can't make too much use of his camo there as he does challenge. Maybe he gets a little bit too excited after those impressive kills earlier. But Fragger does have some rockets to work with, so he should be able to defend Catwalk, which he does. Finds a second double kill, gets the cliffhanger medal as well. Looks across the nest for the triple. Won't quite be able to get it just yet. I like that he's thrusted away to stay alive because he does have... does he have any rockets left? I think he was out, actually. I didn't need to reload there.
It looks like he was out. Now over to Kimbo on the other side, who's pushing low cat to high cat. They have a little bit to climb back, but they can certainly do it. We've seen Infused do it many times before. But you know, what we're seeing right now is some wild cycling from the Pulse guys, right? Infused, they're dying alone several times, and not really, of course it's not intentional, but we're seeing such coordination from Pulse.
Yeah, Pulse just moving it in twos. They're saying, look, okay, we need to get Catwalk, we get to Catwalk. As soon as we've got Catwalk, we move round and then we grab Nest.
And what's wild is you're seeing players on the Pulse side, they're just jumping off of high cat to lay down shots and flying at Red Nest, right? The second you get them on a bad cycle, what the Infused guys have to do is stop that, slow down, let a few points go, even if it's 10 points plus. You got to slow it down. You got to have a good push. Otherwise, you're going to be in deficits like this.
Yeah, but Flux opting not to go for Nest there. He communicates to his teammate and says, you grab it instead, as he will rotate round and flank and grab Fragger. Grenades are coming in. Can he pick up the kill? Gets the double, but the response will come from Pulse, so they get the reset there. And now several members of Infused are going to swarm towards it to see if they can stop this. Ground pounds here, there, and everywhere, but actually, Fragger comes out on top.
And look at this, still scoring there on the Pulse side, so Doodle is up here, but it looks like Fragger's going to also get this overshield as well. So right now, all Doodle can hope to do is melt it, but he gets a lot of help from Kimbo, so that's a great neutralization of that overshield.
Yeah, despite the fact they've got all of the overshields so far, they did give up map control in that situation, so that's why Infused are currently putting points on the board. You can see Pulse now moving towards Catwalk, but Batchwood has the camouflage, and he'll make sure that no one's going to take it off him.
By the way, I'm quite sure neutralization is not a word. It's been a long day. I think he neutralized the overshield, unless that's some type of weird domestic act. But there you go, as we now go back over to Kimbo. 74-51 is the score, and Infused, a triple kill from Kimbo, is going to make it easy for them to climb back. If they do that, if they get one more spawn cycle, I love that. Just checking the angle, flying right back. You know, they're not very far away from climbing right back in this.
Well, we've said it before. Infused are all about just surviving. You saw Kimbo there. He didn't want to challenge. He said, I know that I'm 1 or 2 shots behind here. Just going to thrust back, get out of the way. But he won't avoid that fight because he knew he was going to win it with his assault rifle. And now he's just controlling Nest. They do still have 2 strongholds, so they are winning, and they are putting points on the board here. But Catwalk looks like it's going to be taken. No, the reset comes in, so Pulse aren't able to get that one. They just have Blue Bend, but you can see that is also being overcome by Infused, so it could be possible total control here.
Yeah, look at that, and you just saw Flux was flying in. Somehow he stays alive. Doodle's going to need some help here outside, and it might come. Looks like it's going to come late, but it looks like he will get it from specifically Batchford, who's going to try to clean up this kill, but hasn't done yet, and then finally takes it down. But look at this, we're tied 74-74.
Yeah, it's happening again, despite going down. Infused have come back with some important total controls just to bring themselves back into game, but Pulse, they are scoring. They should take their lead once again as we're on board with Batchford. He's got the SMG, and he is going to be moving around to Red Bend here. Rocket's going to be coming up soon as well, so he needs to communicate that with his teammates, get in a position to be able to grab them, because these rockets could be extremely important. Also, look out for the overshield that's going to be coming up anytime soon. So a really critical part of the game here, bro.
Yeah, Batchford knows that as well, so he's heading straight to bottom middle and keeping eyes on it. Looks like he did have a time, and he's going to get the overshield as well. So great communication from Infused, despite the fact that they're down by almost 10 points here. He needs to not get back whacked. Such a good play from Batchford. A double kill there, killing spree. Still has some overshield left as well. They can capitalize here.
They can, but Red Nest is also being taken. He needs to take Blue Bend first before he can do anything about it. Actually, the reset comes out on Red Nest, and now he has rockets to work with. So this is perfect for Infused. Batchford is on a mission, and the mission is to delete everyone from the Pulse Gaming squad. And with just 20 points needed for Infused and only 13 for Pulse, this one's going to come right down to the wire.
It absolutely is, right? I mean, these have been such exciting games from this series. You really couldn't ask for better. SLG earlier stepping up for his team. Now Batchford for Infused putting on a show. We're all tied up again, Gaskin, 87-87.
And you can really tell that Batchford is listening to every word his teammate is saying. Every one shot he finds with his last shot of his pistol. Total control now for Infused.
Gosh.
Pulse need to do something, but 2 members have already been killed. The rest are in Red Nest, but they get taken down, and the reset will happen. So Infused, once again, despite being behind, come back to win yet another stronghold.
And Batchford there getting vocal, yelling down at the other team, but my goodness, what a run there from Infused. And it felt like whoever was in control was jumping off of Top Cat. They're putting themselves out in positions to challenge their opponents, which they normally wouldn't, but they have so much team shot and so much advantage that they're able to always capitalize on them. So fantastic plays from both teams, but ultimately, in the end, it was Infused who did it better. And once again, they played 100% of the game, where what we saw from Pulse was they played 87%.
I've got to say, one of the really important moments was when we were at the 4-minute mark. The rockets came up, the overshield came up. Batchford grabs the rockets, drops down, grabs the overshield, had it timed perfectly. So good work from the coach Havoc there to make sure he was able to get it. And then he went and secured a double kill, secured Blue Bend, and that pretty much started this cycle that moved on to win them the game. As we are just going to take a look at the statistics.
Look at Batchford and Kimbo, 25 and 23 respectively. Big numbers from both of them. I mean, keep an eye. Look at the rest of their team. No one else even has 15 kills. So very much far and away leading their team in slays. Like you said, play of the game, when you're looking at a game that ends 100-87, that we were tied right around. I think we were tied at 87, actually. I think we were tied at 87-87. So when you look at that, like you said, the plays like that where Batchford can grab, and it felt like he did it single-handedly. when he made the push for rockets, he was half shield. His shields were recharging. So at any point, he could have been picked from many angles. He goes straight for their overshield, grabs that, pops back up. Almost Halo 1 style play where this one-man show is kind of running those power weapons and power-up combos and then make sure he didn't get back-whacked. Turns that into a double, and they slowly come back in the game. So once again, Infused with that strong late game.
But it was how he then pushed on and caught them respawning at red base as well and got another double kill. Just really important, making sure that all those rocket kills counted. This was a huge play as well from SLG. This is a similar individual skill, individual talent to what we saw Batchford do, but in a different circumstance. Unfortunately, in the end, it wasn't able to win them the game. But I mean, look, they had a 20-point lead, now a 30-point lead. So Pulse doing it yet again with that early lead. But what is it that makes Infused so fantastic towards these end games?
You know, I am asking the same thing. You know, if it's a matter of Pulse kind of not being able to finish, but the fact that we've seen Infused do this against several teams on the stage suggests that they really are getting their act together. Look at it. Here's Batchford thrusts away to avoid the back whack, picks up one rocket kill, and then I was able to finish this with the melee as well. And then he's going to convert Blue Bend, fly over to Red Nest. I mean, look at these plays from Batchford. Gets a kill here as well. They're still down, by the way, 79 to 87. They climb back though, and then the trip cap, you know, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, it was the Batchford show, and we are going to be moving into game number 5 now. Infused are currently 3-1 up. And I'm a little bit worried because looking at game number 5, it is Slayer Regret. Now, I said that Eden Strongholds was one of Pulse's best game type, and they've lost that. And we're moving to Slayer Regret, which isn't a great one for Pulse. Just a 25% win record across the season. And on the other side of the board, Infused have never lost a Slayer Regret in Pro League.
And what's interesting is we haven't even seen Infused play this game type today. Granted, they've played a lot here on the stage, of course, getting this far in the bracket. But we have not seen them play Regret, like you said. With their record here, no surprise that they're very comfortable playing here.
Yeah, Vito's on your screen as well. Truth taken out by Pulse, which they've done all season, to be honest. Then Eden says no from Infused. Rig then taken away from Pulse, and Coliseum banned away as well. I believe actually Coliseum has been banned a lot by Infused. It's their most banned game type in Slayer, I believe. So I'm not entirely surprised that that's been taken away.
Interesting, they did not choose to ban against Fab, and they did not choose to ban or veto against Vibe. So there's a certain level of comfort, but like you said, we won't see it here now. They'd rather play Regret. Not surprising given what they've done this season.
Definitely not surprising. Yeah, and Regret is one of those game types where you can see it just snowball out of control. If you get that early start, you can get that top-middle control. You know exactly when those overshields are going to be coming up, and you drop at the right times. Because sometimes if you are on that back foot, when you are looking to get the overshield and you don't know the precise time, it can be extremely difficult to get control of it. But Slayer on Regret will be the game type, and yeah, you're pointing at his name. I think we should start things off with Batchford because he finished the last game so well, and it's going to be that early contesting down bottom middle for the overshield. And also don't forget the scatter shot plays a big part in this game type too. So many times you'll see the scatter shot picked up just to try and counteract the overshield, to be honest, because a couple of shots to the face with that thing will take down anyone. As now Infused will move towards this bottom middle, but Batchford actually taking a different route. He says he wants to get behind. Doodle picks up a double. Batchford flanks behind, finishes off the third. Can he get the fourth? Unfortunately can't, but I think the overshield went in the hands of his teammate. Yes, it did. That'll be Kimbo with the early control.
Yeah, by the way, that was several players exchanging kills down bottom middle. Wasn't an easy overshield grab for Infused. However, it wasn't a terribly difficult one either. It was picked up right around 48 here by Kimbo.
Kimbo now just moving on with this overshield, trying to pick off any Pulse Gamer squad. But there we have it. Fragger is there. He was on his own and he was taken out. Kimbo pushes on, gets the double kill as well. All of his overshield is burnt off, but he's able to get 2 really vital kills and catch Pulse Gaming on their own. But off the spawn, we do see Pulse now responding. Plasma Caster in the hands of SLG, and he'll move on to this top carbine side.
Yeah, you really can't ask for a kind of a better push there. It didn't necessarily result in the score that the guys on the other side of the stage Infused would have liked, but a great use of the overshield by Kimbo to push around. At the same time, great grenades from the grave to neutralize that, so we're all tied up.
Yeah, I've got to say, one thing Infused do well is that they do push very nicely together, and they make sure they find those players, and they flank them, and they're always in a position to finish off kills with that final shot.
Batchford not going down easy. I think it was 5 caster shots. He just kept moving horizontally to just stay away from that caster, and I cannot blame him here, as Infused will get a very minor lead here, 8-7.
Flux just laying down shots, but he will just turn away and allow Doodle to finish it off, and then fires a few across the map, and again, Doodle finish that one off. So great teamwork here from Flux and Doodle. It is pretty much the Flux and Doodle show. New Plasmacaster will be coming up soon, so expect someone to be moving across. It's very rare that everyone wants the Plasmacaster, but there will always be that one player on your team who is comfortable using it. Flux does have the scatter shot in his back pocket, and look, he's not going to take any silly fights because he knows it's important not to be giving away this scatter shot.
That's right. Now they're just going to stay alive here. They've got a small lead as Fragger tries to tee up that ground pound. Second player who's tried to tee up a ground pound against the scatter shot, which is not an easy task, but eventually he will fall to Cali.
It isn't. You're just pretty much setting a target for that scatter shot. You're just saying, wham, bang, thank you, ma'am, as you take them out of the sky. Overshield will come up, and it looks like Flux is able to get it.
Man.
Oh, it's Kimbo, sorry, but Cali gets the assassination, so Overshield will be taken out of the game. Really important for Pulse, as they are still tied 14-14. That Overshield could have made the difference for Infused.
Yeah, very, very interesting dynamic there. So you have Kimbo, who did grab the first Overshield of the game. He knew the time exactly, and he went in and grabbed it. So that's a great play from Infused, but Pulse actually totally counteracts that because Kimbo alone trying to fight 3 different angles bottom middle, it's not going to work. He's going to get back whacked. That's exactly what happened for Pulse. You need to send extra help to make sure that doesn't happen. 3
kills very quickly. All 4 dead now for Pulse. So Infused can move on. They can get top middle control, and they'll be looking for where these Pulse gaming members are spawning. You can see Doodle is just jumping to see if he can catch any heads. He does communicate now with his team that they're spawning over by him. So expect his team to be flooding around, to be flanking so that they can just pincer these guys and take them all out accordingly.
Jeez.
And there you have it. Batchford from behind takes down Fragger, then takes down Punisher. The last member should be alive in that base as well, so expect them to be hunting him. There he goes. Cali goes down, and now this could be a devastating cycle for Pulse Gaming.
I'm going to go ahead right now, and it looks like we'll stay on board with Doodle until he gets taken down, so he will eventually fall as we'll go now over to Flux. But Gaskin, it gets a little bit at what you kind of were saying earlier with how Infused likes to play and how we even saw Pulse playing CTF specifically, but it feels like most of the games in this series, Infused is playing very intentionally. They're controlling the pace of the game. They're finishing kills so fast. It seems like Pulse is just barely hanging on and trying to maybe clean up kills, whereas Infused is kind of dictating exactly where this game is going.
Exactly. Infused are asking the questions, but unfortunately Pulse just can't answer them at the moment. But it is just a 4-kill deficit, so they're definitely not out of it currently, as SLG gets an important kill. Overshield will be coming up in the next 10 seconds. So now people are going to be dropping to bottom mid to contest for that one. We saw the last one was burnt because of that assassination. SLG dropping for it. He's scouting around to see if anyone is going to be pushing for it as well. But the Fuel Rod will absolutely eliminate him. And there we go. There's the Overshield yet again in the hands of Infused. This time it's Batchford. No assassination will come in, so he will be able to keep this one. And with a 6-kill lead, they should be able to press on and move forward and move closer to that grand final.
You're going to go ahead to go to Observer mode now with Batchford and this Overshield, as he's likely to go on a little bit of a spree here if he plays his cards right and has help. But Overshield is being melted a little bit faster than perhaps he would have liked, so I think he's actually going to end up retreating here. You know that these guys here on the Infused side know that they need to close out this game. They do not want to head any later in the series.
And how often have we seen Batchford on his own just flanking around, and it's actually really worked. I do say time and time again, it's similar to Halo 3. If you have one player that is happy to flank, but as long as he communicates his flanks, then they can work. Unfortunately, that time, Batchford wasn't able to make it work as SLG picks up a kill. Fragger's got his back as well. It's just a 2-kill game, and top middle control at the moment seems to be Pulse Gaming's.
I was just going to say the same exact thing. Here we are all of a sudden 31-32. It's just about a 5 or a 6-kill lead for Infused, but Pulse actually showing that they also have some late game resilience.
They do have some late game, but that will be a 3-kill lead now for Infused as they pick up some really important kills. Punisher absolutely taken down there by Kimbo with the pistol, so the Storm Rifle won't do the work that it usually does. And now, again, it's switched. We have top middle control from Infused, and they are just waiting. They are listening. They are hoping that Pulse is spawning in the direction that they're looking at.
That's exactly it. Going to try to push in here. Looks like he will fall, so now over to teammate Flux. 3-kill game separating these two squads. Flux needs to play this a little bit carefully, right? Because he does have, you just saw Kimbo down. They need to wait for this caster to spawn before they make any quick decisions. But it looks like when you have an advantage like that, you can go ahead and push on that advantage and now up by 5.
Yeah, they've got a couple of men in advantage now at the moment, and that Overshield's going to be coming up once again, so expect off-spawn Pulse to be bombing down to bottom mid because they know they need it if they are going to keep in this game. You can see 3 members of Pulse are moving over to Plasmacaster now. Flux will probably move over to see if he can start and contest that Overshield. As you can see, he's looking down. SLG is trying to find it. Does he grab it? Did he burn it? I think he did.
It was definitely a burn there right around what would look like the 39 mark. So now everything's going to kind of reset as we wait to see exactly how this will settle. 2 kills now separating, 3 kills separating these two teams. So Caster still was up, so going to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I am fairly certain that next overshield won't come into play unless it really slows down. But Batchford, once again, leaving his team, letting them do whatever they want as he just rotates around, tries to pick off any members of Pulse that are just left lying around, just hiding, waiting round corners.
Yeah, Flux did die with the Caster, so I'm keeping an eye on all the screens here to see exactly who might grab that weapon, of course. With the game this close and a map like Regret could certainly play a big factor.
2 big kills coming out of Pulse though, but Batchford will respond with a Storm Rifle kill, but it will be traded effectively by Punisher as we are tied at 43-43. Yet again, this is a really tight game, and I said we may not see that next overshield, but I tell you what, at this rate, they have slowed it down, so we may just see it, and it could make or break the game as we are tied 45-45. Kimbo has a battle rifle to work with, and his teammates just got a really important kill. Flux taking down Punisher, looks across, but they are trading 1-for-1 constantly, and this is going right down to the wire.
And right now, yeah, Kimbo actually isolated here. We'll see. They're at 47-46. We'll have to see if he gets collapsed on. He does. So now back over to his teammates here. Doodle is right here with Batchford. Flux is not too far behind as well. Now all tied up at 47-47. Pulse Gaming fighting for their tournament life.
Yeah, and I've said that Batchford's been going off on his own. He needs to make sure he sticks with his teammates in this situation. Doesn't want to give away any easy kills as Doodle is just scouting top middle here. But he's taken out from behind. There's just 2 kills needed.
My.
There we have it. SLG picks it up. Kali stands in the air. Somehow, Pulse are able to secure Regret Slayer against the odds. Infused were 100% win record on Slayer Regret throughout the season, but Pulse said, forget that. This is finals. We can come back into this series.
And what a collapse there. Just as quickly as it happened, we saw, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we saw Punisher pushing up, SLG also pushing up on the Rampart there to clean up those kills, and they wasted no time. A fantastic way to finish that game for them. Man, well, I mean, tied up at 47, and I mean, very swiftly cleaning up those last 3 kills to stay alive. I mean, if they hadn't acted that fast, very good chance they could have lost that game and been out of the tournament.
Yeah, SLG chance rightly coming out of the crowd there as he is leading on not only kills, probably kisses as well. You know what they do in France. But he's got assists for 15 and only had 12 deaths. So +3, great stuff from SLG. On the other side, Flux 9 and 10, Kimbo 11 and 11. But Doodle and Batchford, they were working well together, but they just died a little bit too much. I do feel it could have gone either way. It was unfortunate for Infused. They just got caught in a really kind of sticky situation, and Pulse were able to swarm well.
Yes, indeed. Now taking a look at this highlights. Remember, this was Kimbo on this rotation, right? So it flies up. I think he picks up this one, and maybe there's another kill to boot, I think, that he helps with, but that grenade would eventually take his overshield off. But we were pretty much neck and neck here throughout, obviously, the entire game, all the way to the 47 mark.
Yeah, we were, and those overshields have really played a big part. Obviously, the assassination made sure that one was just taken out of the game, and I kind of feel like Infused were slowing the game down to try and see if they could get that final overshield because they'd had such good control of it throughout the game. So that's why they got in that sticky situation. That's why they were caught surprised by Pulse Gaming, but fantastic stuff from Pulse. It is always difficult in those situations when you are fighting for your tournament life and you are at 47-47, sometimes you're at 49-49, your heart starts pumping, the nerves start kicking, your hands begin shaking, but they were able to pull it off as we are going to be moving into Game 6, which is going to be a capture the flag, and it is going to be on Coliseum, as Stasis was of course banned, as everyone has been banning it all season, and then Truth taken out by Pulse, which they've also done all season long.
And Infused, by the way, has banned Coliseum CTF twice already today. Actually, I shouldn't even say twice. Let's see, at least 4 times, in their series versus Infused, in their series versus Fab and Vibe, they have banned Coliseum every time, but here they are playing it.
Yeah, and across the Pro League season, it is Infused's most vetoed game type in Capture the Flag. 58% of the time they have taken out Coliseum, so they are forced to play this one. They've only played it once throughout Pro League. They did win that one, so they do technically have a 100% record. On the other side, Pulse have a 40% win rate on Capture the Flag Coliseum, but they have played it 5 times, so you kind of think if they are happy to play it, they might be a bit more comfortable.
Certainly, yeah, so no guarantees here, but you have to think if there's a game type that Pulse has a chance to force a Game 7 on, this could certainly be one of those candidates.
Oh, For sure, especially considering if you go back to capture the flag Fathom, where Pulse were able to win that 1-2-1, they are comfortable in those situations where you push, grab a flag, you look for spawns, and then you run back with your teammates. It's a very different game style to Strongholds or Slayer, of course, a very particular play style that does seem to fit the Pulse Gaming members.
Yes, indeed. Looking here at Doodle and the Infused squad, you know they wanted to end the series right there, unable to do so off of some fantastic a fantastic late push from the base all the way up to the rampart as SLG and crew were very efficient in closing out that game. But here we are now. Coliseum CTF is going to be your game number 6. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and start things off on the other side. I don't think we started off a match with Punisher just yet. We'll see if he and the team can rally back and force us into a game number 7. But first, they're going to need to win this here at CTF Coliseum.
They are going to need to win this one, and usually Pulse are fantastic on maps like this because their control of power-ups are absolutely phenomenal, but Infused have answered back well throughout this season as Punisher takes down Batsford off the bat and then moves across to the sniper side. Cali's taking down Flux as well, so a 4-on-2 advantage, make that 4-on-1. Doodle does respond, but Pulse can push in knowing that it's 4 dead for Infused. They need to look for those spawners now. Backford's caught at the back of the base. Double kill for Punisher, looks for the triple, but he gets taken down. Sniper in the hands of SLG now.
Yeah, right now, and everything looked good. Like you said, 4 were dead. They had Sniper in the hands of SLG. Cali had the rockets. All of that has changed.
Oh my.
But SLG determined to keep his team in this, even though they have lost rockets and really control.
Does need to be careful with positioning here. He doesn't want to get caught out by some grenades thrown randomly by the Infused squad. I do like now he has moved over to S3, trying to catch an angle. He knows the players might be here down at bottom mid, and he finds someone under the base. Does tag Doodle as well, gets the double, looks for the triple off spawn. You can see he's just cycling left and right to see if anyone's there. Catches Batsford into the base. Incredible sniper shot. SLG heating up. The crowd is chanting his name because this man is on fire.
Right here, we're going to stay on board with him in observer mode, as you can see exactly the things that he can't see, to see the targets that are coming across, as he seems to have a knack for finding them and somehow stays alive miraculously. Still has 2 shots to go, and they're desperately trying to kill him. He gets 1 distraction, might even pick up a second here. Finally, he'll be taken down. So now over to Cali, actually, who will be dead. So Punisher is the only player alive for a brief second in the enemy base. He needs to be careful here as his flag is being ran.
Yeah, Infused were desperate to take down SLG there as flag is being run. Punisher's in a position to stop it, but he's got a man behind him, turns around, unable to take him down. 2 members down for Pulse. Are they able to get this return? Kimbo doesn't get it, he misses the shot, so the return comes out. If perhaps he had used his pistol or something, that could have been completely different. Instead, he went for the no-scope.
Big return there from Fragger, and we'll still be tied up here. So, I mean, against all odds, flies in there, just sits on the return, crosses his fingers and prays, and it results in the return.
Yeah, it could have been a 1-0 if that no-scope was hit. Rockets have come up, but I wonder who is in a position to take them. We will scout across and see who has managed to pick them up, because Rockets can make such a big difference when pushing for the flag. 2 important kills yet again for SLG, getting the perfect, and Fragger has the Rockets in his back pocket, and he's pushing into Rocket Corner into this red flag, and he will be saying to his teammates, look, I've got Rockets, I can destroy anyone off spawn right now, so let's push, let's try and pull a flag here, because despite the dominance from Pulse, they haven't been able to pull a flag, and he's having to pull one himself, but he might actually get caught off guard. Thankfully, Batsford doesn't actually expect him to be round the corner, so just runs past him there, and now Fragger can run this one.
This is not a route you want to take with the Rockets, right? You do not want to go bottom middle, the least advantageous position height-wise on the map. However, it has worked for them, and we're in a bit of a flag stalemate.
Yep, but the flag will be taken out, and it looks like there is a member to return it, but he doesn't able to get it just yet. Tries to go for the long-range rocket, does take down Kimbo. Now he needs to... Why isn't he pushing out? This is my big problem. He should have said to his teammates, look, I've got rockets, I'll push out, someone else grab this. It does look like that is what is happening now.
Yeah, it looks like that has indeed happened. I'm trying to see who's getting the touch, though, in the back of the base, and it looks like that was Cali. Okay, so they do have a flag being grabbed, and he's going to get the return as well. Fragger is able to bring that back. You can bet there's going to be a cap. Yes, indeed, it comes in, so Gaskin, just as you had asked, pushes up with the Rockets and able to get the return immediately.
He does. I don't know if I like that pull from Fragger, though. He got a little bit overzealous because Kimbo has got the new sniper rifle. Now Infused have control, but Pulse are in the lead here. Kimbo does need to try and stay alive because he's getting pushed. Gets the no-scope into the body of SLG. So now they can push on. That'll be 3 members down for Pulse, but the 4th has spawned and taken down Flux. But Kimbo gets an incredible headshot onto Cali. Now moves back onto Fridge, and he can start looking for those players spawning on Rocket Corner and moving into the flag base.
And right now, I mean, this is your typical setup, of course, trapping the enemy into that rocket corner. They don't want to push in too hard. They just want to ensure that they keep the enemy pushed back. But it looks like actually SLG doing very well, getting a double kill in his own base. Eventually he'll fall, but SLG getting a double kill is actually going to slow this down significantly. Now, oh my gosh!
That is disgusting from Kimbo. Gets the triple. Unfortunately, can't get the flag as a reward, but still, he made a statement there. Incredible stuff, but now Pulse can push on. I don't know if there was any bullets left in that sniper rifle or not, but SLG definitely has a scatter shot to work with, and sniper control, the sniper side of the map control for Pulse currently.
I'll tell you what, SLG is the only reason that flag was not capped, because even though SLG picked up a double, Kimbo still walks in and gets a triple in the end. So props to SLG for the defense, but of course Kimbo putting on a show here as well. Now over to Cali.
Sometimes you have to be able to do that. You have to just stay in your base, you have to wait, and you have to hope you can pick off some important kills once they do come in and grab that flag. As we're going to move across to SLG once again, who is trying to regain control of this sniper tower. We say it time and time again, it's very important to have sniper tower control when you are playing Capture the Flag Coliseum, as SLG finishes off Flux, but Kimbo will get the trade as the flag is bottom middle. Cali's trying to return it, but he's unable to. Shots are coming down to bottom mid though, and Infused are trying to relay this one. Kimbo was no shields, but regains them, moving back into the base. Can he put this one in? Yes, he can. They tie it up 1-1, despite the fact that a couple of members of Pulse were swarming behind him.
Geez, great shots out of Kimbo there, bravely firing straight towards Top Cat when he had what felt like at least a quarter shields or less, but regardless, this aggression and their resilience has led them back into this game. In a moment, we're going to go to the other side. Love to get a listen in here with Pulse. I haven't actually been able to hear their communication yet today, so we'll get into a listen in just a moment.
Yeah, we will go for a short listen in with Pulse in a bit, because they know what they're doing, Pulse. They do communicate well, and you can hear they have those very quick communications. So let's jump in on a little bit of a listen in with Pulse Gaming.
Nice.
Encore, vers rouge les gars, vers rouge. Reste rouge. Oui, plat rouge. J'ai besoin dans le coin, ça naïf. Ça chase. Encore, je suis mort, je vais prendre la rock les gars.
Ils sont deux rock,
Ils ont la rock.
Il y en a qu'un,
devant toi, ça c'est bloqué. Ah, c'est cassé. C'est bloqué. Ok. La vache.
Je suis mort, les gars, sur moi, rock.
Ils ont le CFX, c'est rouge. La rock poké bleu. Faut que quelqu'un essaie de passer chez eux. Vers le, la rock. Vers le.
Pour notre flag.
C'est le flag. Ouais, vers le.
Ah, deux de bleu, deux de flag maintenant.
Il run. Le flag. Flag déjà.
Sniper S3.
Vers le flag. Nice.
Le sniper S3 les gars, le sniper S3.
Oui, je suis en touch.
Nice.
Regarde ta bleu, derrière vous. Ah, le step il touch. Jane. Quick, grab quick shot flag. C'est le dernier. Nice.
Now, I don't speak much French, but I got the gist of it. It was they're getting the touch or get the touch. They were just communicating very loud. They were getting very excited about this moment in time. And a shout out to the French community. We will have French viewers who will be watching it, so that one was for them. Just a minute of a listening from Pulse Gaming, but now we can push on. It is still 1-1, and Pulse know if they lose this game, they are out of the tournament. But at the moment, they are looking in good nick as Cali is going to pull a flag, but he didn't know that Doodle had spawned right behind him, so great work from Doodle, just waiting until someone came for the flag.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, want to give a shout out to, of course, the French community, as well as Halo.fr and the crew. We know many of you guys are watching, getting to hear your team and their chatter. Though Dan and I have absolutely no idea what they're saying, we have a good feeling that you do. And so far, the teamwork has certainly paid off, because they're still tied 1-1 here. And boy, do they ever want to hold on, because they want to force a Game 7.
They definitely do. SLG actually fumbled the flag a little bit, and his teammates have gone down, so he needs to survive here as both flags are out. He's going to try and go for the return, actually gets the kill on Batchford whilst doing so. If he can get a touch after this, and he's trying to take out another member, but he is just staying alive at the moment. He may need to leave this flag. His teammate's gone for it. He's baited his teammate, and he's finished off Kimbo there. Now he can get the flag. Now he can put it back to the base. Grenades will stop him. Is there anyone to help? No, because Cali's going to be taken down from the base. So Infused are there to stop everyone. The Punisher responds with a kill of his own, and this is back and forth. The touch will come from SLG. Misses the beatdown. Can't quite get it. Return should come in, but here come the Pulse Gaming members. They can't stop it, and the flag comes out for Infused by themselves.
And look at this Batchford. Like you see how just the flag is down, but Pulse is right away on the return. Doodle's going to try to turn the corner, not able to do so yet. Just tosses it to Flux. Oh my goodness, what a flag toss. I haven't seen something like that since Halo 2 midship.
That is disgusting work. Great communication there from Infused, but The flag is actually out for Pulse, so they are running a flag of their own. New sniper is going to be up, so Flux is in a position to stop this sniper rifle. He says, no, forget sniper rifle. I need to get in a position to stop this flag now. Grenades will come in. Batchford helps. He manages to pull the flag, but he gets assassinated from behind. Can they get the return and tie this up 2-2? Yes, they can. What a game this is at the moment. And SLG currently has some rockets to work with. Does actually pull the flag. He's going to throw that one out just to try and bait someone to try and come into his rockets.
Yeah, let's see where this player, I think he's still trying to figure out where that player went. He's right now challenging Kimbo, who has a sniper rifle and is wreaking havoc, so he needs to be careful here. And that was, no, that was Doodle, so Kimbo is down, but they could potentially run this if they kill them. I think that's 3 dead.
There is, but the last member was Batford. He gets the kill, but SLG was able to throw it out. Cali is going to try and go for this. No, he says we cannot desperate this flag. If we go too hard for a flag, we might be able to give away a flag of our own.
I think it's a good call. I mean, maybe even if that was a 60-40, even a 70-30 Gaskin, it's a little bit too much risk. Their tournament life is on the line. If they go for that flag, even the small chance that they don't cap, it's not worth it. They have 2 minutes left. They're tied. Better to play this out and continue playing the game that they're playing.
Especially when, in general, Pulse have been controlling the Rockets better than Infused. And the Rockets certainly are very important when you are pushing for that flag. Doodle takes down Cali, gets the double kill, and now this is sniper side control for Infused, so they can start to push in. Punisher gets taken down. He's now Doodle moving into the flag, and he's just looking across. Cali off spawn is able to take him down, so important kills coming out of Pulse, but Infused are swarming into this base. SLG once again finding himself stuck in the base, just having to defend. He's holding the wall for his team right now.
Yeah, fantastic plays in the back. I think it was Cali who was sitting in the back of that base corner, and if you sit there and you can catch one player off guard, you can potentially stop that entire rush. So a heads-up play, and it leads to this defense now. There's a minute 19 left. You know, it would have to see a significant amount of kills right now for either, but as I say that, Pulse could try to still go with one more flag run.
Yeah, we might be going to overtime if no flag is captured in the next minute. Of course, SLG could do with staying alive, but unfortunately goes down to the hands of Batchford. Punisher caught in a difficult position here. It's so hard when you are caught there in your courtyard. And Doodle goes down to Fragger. Trades coming in left, right, and center. And Batchford is just going to slowly sneak into his opposition base. Grenades going out just in case anyone spawns in that rocket corner, but things are slowing down now. Nerves are starting to settle in.
That is it, and everyone's going to slow down. No one wants to make a risky play in the last 30 seconds of this game and potentially give up a cap. Unless we have a sure thing, you're probably not going to see another flag run here in these 30 seconds if I have to guess. But with the speed of this game and even the speed of these teams play, we could still see something attempted.
Yeah, Pulse at the moment seem to be getting outslayed, so Infused slowly gaining momentum, slowly gaining more and more map control, and Pulse are having to answer the question that Infused are posing at the moment. You can see they're pushing in. If Cali goes down here, which he doesn't just yet, he is the last member on the team. If he can get killed, there we go, Kimbo takes him down. Flag is going to start to be moved. 2 seconds, 1 second, we're going into overtime.
That's right.
That flag is moving.
But it did take a while for him to get that kill in the back of the base, so let's see exactly where that's going to be down. Doodle is actually going to be the player who's continuing to run this here for Infused, and if he turns this corner, folks, he's got a lot of help, and it looks like they might be clear and free to win this. Yes, indeed, Infused are going to take the game and the series.
Infused are going to the grand finals to have a rematch against Fab E. And look at the man on the left, Kimbo, who was on Fab E last season, very happy with that result, but Pulse put up such a good fight, and they came so close, so credit to them coming in as 4th seed to taking Infused to a Game 6. Just looking at the statistics here, 34 kills out of Kimbo.
34 and 19, leading his team in both most kills and least deaths. By far the least deaths in the game as well. We'll pull up those stats in a second. Definitely a heartbreaking loss for Pulse. They certainly put on a fantastic show for their team, their community, and their country here at the EU Finals.
They definitely did themselves proud. I don't think anyone has any doubt. I'd like to hear some chants in the audience, or just a round of applause for Pulse Gaming, because they came in hard. They were 4th seed, but they gave us a show.
Oh, they certainly did.
And boy, can they go home with smiles on their face, but they will be going home. That is the upsetting thing. But on the other side, Infused now get another shot at Fab E. And what are your initial thoughts on that one, Andy?
You know, my first thoughts are if Fabi looks too strong to I mean, once we maybe see them drop a game, then we can start talking about if there's any competition for them here. I absolutely think Infused is a team that's capable of it, but we'll have to see how really those first few games go. I think they're going to need to win games early if they want to have any chance of taking this serious at all. But now taking a look at the highlights, what a back and forth match this was.
What a back! It was just incredible, and I can't wait to see that flag toss.
Batchford somehow around the corner, left it perfectly. I can't remember exactly who capped it. Hopefully we'll see it, but I mean, there was 2 players on red rocket corner right there for the return. It was a perfectly timed toss. Look at SLG just lighting up with that sniper rifle. But Fragger trying to remember this. This was when you were saying that Fragger really needed to push out, and that led to their first cap.
It did, and I've just got to give a shout out to Infused because they played out of their minds in that game. So even though they had their backs against the wall at certain times, Kimbo just doing disgusting things. I think this was where he got that triple. He missed the first shot, and then the nose scope, just a snap up for the triple kill, made the crowd go wild. And SLG, I mean, I feel sorry for the guy. The fact that he's gone out. I think this was the toss.
Look at that. Dies, and then Flux is right there. Look at that. There was 2 people rounding that corner. If Batchford did not get that toss so perfectly and managed to actually jump with his Spartan to toss it essentially on the flag platform, I don't know if they would have capped it.
So you know when you had that situation where Pulse threw out that last flag and we said he's not going for it, even if it's like a 60-40. Perhaps if he had gone for it, I mean, do you think that is the risk that he should be taking?
I mean, that's the thing that they now have to deal with. In those situations when you're making the call, for example, when you have an advantage and you make the call not to risk it, it's going to haunt you a little bit, right? You have to wonder, should they have gone bottom middle? I think it was Cali who was actually front of his base in level 1. Kind of getting stuck on top mid a bit for a second, and I think that maybe also kind of stopped him a bit. If you're struggling with a jump for a second, you kind of start to second guess that. They maybe could have pulled something off, but the fact that players were flooding out a red rocket corner, you can bet they weren't blocking cave, so there was going to be some fountain work too. Looking back, I don't think that would have won the game.
Okay, well, then maybe we should ask an Infused player. I believe that Flux is down on the floor with Mr. Savage, so take it away, Adam.
Thank you very much. Make some noise for Flux and Team Infused! This is all for you, buddy. It's all for you. Embrace it. Embrace it. This was, what an incredible game that was. How does it feel to make it through to the grand final?
Feels incredible, man. We played out of our skin. I'm incredibly proud of the whole team. Played absolutely incredible.
Incredible is definitely the word of the day. Now, for us in the audience, it's unbelievably exhilarating, wasn't it, guys? It was amazing to watch that last game. So tight, so tight. How is it for you guys actually playing in the game? Is it equally as exhilarating?
Oh yeah, we just took it game by game. You know, we knew what our mistakes were coming into this series, and we just worked on them and corrected all of them, and it paid off.
Certainly did. Now, you're heading into the final against Fab. You had a bad loss to them earlier on today. Do you go in with the same attitude? Do you change tactics? How do you attack this final differently?
We'll probably talk about a few things which we did wrong last series, but generally we'll keep it the same as what we practiced.
Okay, we'll make some noise once more, guys, for Team Infused and Flux! You have your other finalists here. Fab versus Team Infused is going to be amazing. We're going to head now upstairs back to the guys as we make our way towards that grand final and this trophy.
Thank you very much, Adam, down on the main stage there with the winning captain of our last matchup. We've also managed to nab one of the Infused players and add them to our Halo lineup here at the analyst desk. Welcome to the desk, Doodle. How you doing?
Thank you. Yeah, that was a wild series.
It's pretty sweet, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the adrenaline's still going.
It's still going now.
He's still shaking even now.
I wrote a note down. I write lots of notes. I scribble a lot. I wrote one note about you in Game 3. Doodle, what the hell? That was one of those, like,
agree,
there was a couple of shots that I was just like, what?
I think it was the Eden Strongholds game where the Overshield player was bottom mid, and I think you naded him twice and then 5'd him.
Yeah.
Why? Why would you do that to someone?
I mean, I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think it was a big kill. So
that's fair enough.
He was going for the movie kills.
Yeah, right.
Mark, movie kills, right?
Yeah.
All day long. On a serious note, these guys put up a hell of a fight today, and we've known in the past these French players, teams come over to the UK, and they suddenly just step up. There's like some magic in the air or something. Were you cautious of that before you went into the game?
Yeah, I've played against them before earlier on LAN this year, so I definitely knew we were going to go in it for the long run, right? It was going to be a long series, potentially. Yeah. So I was ready for it. I mean, we knew what we had to do. I'm glad we came out on top.
Was there any chance, like, in the actual quali flag game, you thought to yourself, oh my god, this could actually go to a game 7?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have some thoughts. You just got to try and block them out. I always I always knew we could come back in the game, right? Like we've come back in several strongholds today as well. So like no matter what the results were in the middle of the game, we could always come back no matter what. Yeah.
That's the thing though, because with Pulse, their snipe tower control is unbelievable. They seem to not just do it once, but they do it every single game, no matter who the teams are. So I think like just in terms of like their positioning as well as like their map control, is absolutely fantastic.
I had a quick question for you, Doodle, which is, what was the communication like in that final game towards the end, when that last flag was being pulled?
Yeah, I mean, it was wild. It was like, who's got it? Who's got the flag? Who's got the flag? And yeah, it was just a little hectic, but yeah, I mean, we clutched up.
You can imagine in a high-pressure situation, things will just get totally manic.
What was the secret for you guys on the Stronghold maps? Because you were like 70 down on the first one. They're like 45 down on the second one, and yet somehow you just showed that resilience. It's almost like the team doesn't panic. You know what you've got to do anyway, and you just play it that way.
I mean, we just got to come out harder in the next few strongholds. We're going to be playing in the finals for sure. Yeah. I mean, we show resilience by coming back in the games, but we shouldn't even get to that point in the first place. So we definitely got to minimize the mistakes to go down by that much for sure.
Do you get a bit frustrated sometimes when you're behind like that early and you think, why are we behind again?
Nah, I mean, sometimes it goes fast if you're on a triple cap. So all of a sudden, well, you're down by 60 points, right?
Yeah, it definitely goes fast. Okay. In terms of how you matched up against Fab last time, what did you learn, if anything? I mean, it's tough, isn't it? In a few hours, what did you pick up afterwards?
I mean, we just gotta make less mistakes because they capitalize on every single mistake we make. So we gotta stop getting average, stop dying on our own. We definitely gotta shoot the same guys. Work for the same kills for sure. Like communication's got to be stepped up as well. I mean, we're ready. I don't care really what the result was before. Now we just go into this new series. We're ready.
Clean sheet.
Yeah.
The question is, can you take him 2 best of 7s? Because 1 is hard enough, but 2, do you reckon it's doable?
No, we can definitely do it. I mean, we just got to. We don't care about the second series first. We just care about the first one, right? Like it's all that matters, and we can win it. Yeah.
How big? Sorry, Mark. How big are the Slayer games? Because you were so close with them, it ran them close.
Yeah.
Do you feel like if you can pinch a couple of those off them, then actually that starts to turn the match?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's 3 Slayers in a best of 7, so they're important, right? We just gotta edge it out. We just gotta come out on top, and I'm confident we can do it. It's just a few kills. Right?
I like the confidence.
Yeah.
I had a question. How does it feel right now, finding yourself in the grand final of the full season, having placed 4th last time? Infused, obviously, they came bottom of the pile last time. Now you're in the grand final. What's changed, and how does that feel?
I mean, the new roster is just amazing. Like Kimbo, as he went off in this final game, he just clutches up when it matters.
34-19.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Crazy. That is ridiculous. And you said a high pressure situation, but he's just like, positive 15, get a triple snipe, no scope here and there. It's just a standard day matchmaking, really, isn't it? Like,
yeah, seems like the whole team stepped up as well. You've all had moments today where things have gone well for each member of the team, or you've played well as a team unit, or you've come back from a long way back in a stronghold match. All of you seem to have elevated your game from the regular season.
We've all been playing amazing today. We're all ready for the day today. It's a one-day event.
Is it just LAN? Is it that like mindset? When you've been playing online, you get a bit frustrated. Like, ping issues and communication.
I can imagine that. Yeah.
And you come to LAN, and it's like that togetherness of the team.
Yeah, I could imagine that. We just get hyped together, and I think it improves our gameplay every once in a while. Like as long as we keep it at normal hype, right? As long as it don't get too much and overflows the communication.
Yeah. How's the crowd for you?
I mean, it was amazing. I love playing in front of them.
It's good, isn't it?
I had a quick question as well. Is if you would actually like to say anything to Pulse, because I know you're quite a nice guy. You like to give credit where it's due. Anything you want to say to Pulse after that series?
I mean, GG's again. It's always fun playing them for sure. They always step up on LAN, like when I've played against them for sure. So it was a good game again, and I expected nothing less.
Good. That's a nice note to end the segment on. Thank you very much for joining us, and very best of luck in the grand final. It's going to be a tough ride, but we're with you in spirits. We are headed to a break. It's our final break before the grand final, which is up next, which also means you lucky people out there are available to grab a gold rec code. Right now, on your screen, head to halo.gg, enter the code. What is it this time? Grand finals. There we go, look, grand finals. It's just around the corner. So head over to halo.gg right now, grab that, and then take a break, go and grab your Smarties or your lunch or your dinner or your breakfast or whatever time it is around the world. Then settle down, snuggle up close, because we're headed to the grand final next.